Yes, indeed. It's Wrestling Uncensored. We're trying to pick Money in the Bank winners tonight. We just watched SmackDown. We're watching Rampage. We got wrestling stuff. Okay? Okay. My goodness. John, help me out. How are you? I'm not prepared. I'm not ready yet. How are you? You good?
I'm not too bad. Just enjoyed a decent AAA championship match. Aquino just won. Just retained the championship.
Yeah, I
A lot
only
of
got
crazy
it on
action in that match.
I got it on a tiny screen. I didn't see it. It was good?
Okay. Well, I mean, there was a lot of craziness. I'm sure a lot of people won't be fans of the drop down spot that they did, but there was a lot of insane action. They did the 630 springboard again to the outside. This time he didn't hit his head on the ring apron. If you're seeing the replay now, they're showing that. He also did a crazy, like, backwards, like, spinning head scissors. Looked pretty crazy. There's a bunch of interesting maneuvers Aquino did. So Commander did some interesting spots too, but it was a little sloppy-ish, but still a decent match. A good opener for Rampage.
So we're watching AEW Rampage, right? That's happening right now. I missed the opening match. I just watched the highlights they were showing us, the replay. Looked good. A lot of crashes and bangs. We just finished watching SmackDown. The Rampage show tonight actually looks decent. Isn't Shibata on it?
He is. He's defending the ROH Pure Championship, I think, against Lee Moriarty. I think so. Yeah.
Well, that's got to be the main event, right? That's got to be closing the show. What else do they have?
I believe Zack Sabre Jr. might be closing the show, I think.
Ooh. Yeah. He's on this card too? Oh, they're getting ready for Forbidden Door.
Well, that's it. Like, more than likely, because he was on last year, right, against Claudio. So.
Well, that's fun. Zack Sabre Jr. I saw it. I think you told me, right? Orange Cassidy wanted to wrestle him at Forbidden Door. They might be looking towards that.
Orange mentioned that the press scrum for Double or Nothing that happened.
Yeah. I'm ready for Forbidden Door. I've got my Hiromu Takahashi t-shirt on, ticking time bomb, so I'm ready for AEW in New Japan. I didn't even do that on purpose. I just like Hiromu. I was looking for a t-shirt in the dark, and I found this one. Forbidden Door is the next AEW show. Is that the next pro wrestling pay-per-view, right? WWE's next one is Money in the Bank, but that's July 1st, and Forbidden Door is June 25th. We're in June. We're in the month of June. Welcome to June.
That's right. We're less than a month away now for Forbidden Door. So, yeah, it's coming up pretty quickly. In Toronto.
And now we're
what's
seeing
going on here?
A confrontation between Aubrey Edwards and Karen Jarrett. They seem to be attacking each other. Oh, my God.
They are attacking each other.
They're goozling each other, kind of. And
Mark kick to the face.
Was there? I think it missed, though. Mark Briscoe was there, too, kind of facing off with Jeff Jarrett and Sanjay and Satnam and Jay Lethal. I don't know what they were saying because we're talking to each other. We don't have the volume on, but it's probably not that important. The important part is a referee is getting physical with a manager, which I'm not a huge fan of, but okay. They like to make Aubrey Edwards like a personality in the company.
So is Aubrey going to wrestle Karen? Is that what we're going towards here, it seems?
I don't know who wants to see that. You know? I don't know who wants Aubrey Edwards to be a character in the company. Who wants that? Are fans demanding for that?
Well, I wasn't big on Earl Hebner wrestling, but it happened.
It did happen.
It happened several times. So I think this could happen. Karen's got good heat, so wouldn't be surprised. What's wrong? Problem with the Yankees?
Yeah, Mookie Betts just hit a solo homer to lead off the game against Severino and the Yankees in the top of the first inning. It's not good. It's not a good way to start your game. Give up a home run right away.
Game.
It's Mookie Betts, too. What are you going to do? He's pretty good. He's pretty good at baseball. Yankees and Dodgers just started. So if my attention is diverted during this show, you'll know why. The game just started, John. Yankees and Dodgers just started as we began the show. So, yeah.
Don't worry. You got roasted last night. I'm not going to roast it tonight if things go right with
Did I get roasted? I don't remember that.
Well, when you kicked both guys off the show, you kicked Fred and AJ both off the show. Like
that wasn't about the Yankees.
Like
that was for other reasons.
Okay.
Different reasons altogether. I want to talk a little bit about Money in the Bank. I want to give a shout out to everybody tuning in live before we get into all the meat of the program that we have here for you tonight. Shout out to Trans Am. Ryan Katz, Sebastien Rouillard, CSL Lorne, Doug Hepburn. Good to see. Leor, there you go. There's Leor, a member of the team over at join.ringsidereport.net. Join.ringsidereport.net is where you want to go support the channel like Leor does, like Doug Hepburn does. You see their names in green on the YouTube channel if you're watching us on YouTube. Shout out to everybody watching us across the platforms on the Ringside Report Network, YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitch, Twitter, all the things. All the things. Alex Tarras, I see you over on YouTube. There you go. The Wrestling Uncensored show running strong here, 10 p.m. Eastern every Friday night on the Ringside Report Network. Johnny, give me your thoughts here on the Money in the Bank. We have the ladder match coming up, and I want to predict some winners. I want to get right into it because they're doing qualifying matches. I want to get into Roman Reigns here tonight and the promo that they did to end off SmackDown. I thought that was fantastic. We're seeing highlights of CM Punk now, hyping him up for the Collision show. We could talk about the
SmackDown.
The CM Punk reaction. Punk on SmackDown? What?
When they're going over Roman Reigns' title reigns, all the reigns that he's surpassed, they mentioned CM Punk.
Oh, did they? I didn't notice.
Well, I think it's important to mention because, 434 days, that was kind of impressive for its time. It's the most recent, longest reign that we've seen. So I think it's important to mention that. But we've seen the past two where they just don't even mention Punk. So it's nice that they actually mention him. But always done because they surpassed Punk's record. So you got to put that in there a little bit too.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty long title reign that Roman has going, and we'll get to it. We'll get to the title reign. Acknowledging Punk is
here we go.
Different, right? It's not something you see very often.
No, but here comes Zack Sabre Jr. here.
Oh yeah, there is Zack Sabre Jr., who is the Ring of Honor
television.
He's the
champion?
New Japan television champion, they're saying. I thought he's the Ring of Honor or something. Maybe not?
I think he wanted to challenge Joe, but I don't know if they made that match or not.
Okay. So they're showing Zack Sabre Jr., the New Japan television champion. And he's defending this against Action Andretti.
Yeah. I think, Zach's going to win.
Yeah. Well, he's not dropping a New Japan belt on Rampage. Like, what? It's for the belt, John. You think he's going to... What?
Andretti had his, big thing. He beat Jericho, and that's his thing now. That's all he had.
Yanks just gave up another home run, a 2-run homer in the first. I might turn off the game at some point. It sucks.
It's only the first inning, though. I mean, you can give up like 5 runs. You can still come back from that.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong about that, but it's not a good start to the game here for the Yankees. Severino's second start. I think it's his second start of the season. His first one was good. This one is not starting off so good. Oh, man. What were we talking about? Zack Sabre Jr.? Yeah, he's wrestling now. I like this guy. He's very good. Talented guy. I wish he was on AEW Dynamite every week. You know, he could do some great stuff. I wonder who he'll wrestle at Forbidden Door. Orange Cassidy is an option, but it's not my favorite. Okay, I want to stick with WWE here before we jump around to AEW and everything. We got some Money in the Bank qualifiers, and I feel like Money in the Bank is a big deal, but maybe becoming less of a big deal with all the championships going around. Like, it seemed to matter at one point. Winning Money in the Bank was basically a ticket to the top of the card. You were going to be the WWE champion or World Heavyweight champion or whatever they had at the time, Universal champion. Now we've got so many champions, so many championships you could cash in for. Like, you could cash in for an NXT belt if you want to. You could cash in for the Intercontinental belt. It doesn't really mean what it used to mean. But we still have the matches, and I think it means something. I don't think it has the same significance as it once did, but I think winning the Money in the Bank is still maybe not a shot all the way up to the top of the card, but it's a shot up the card, at least. It's a bit of a push. You'll get something out of it. Maybe a title run.
I think it hurts though, because last year Theory did not cash in. So it kind of devalues the briefcase when cash in doesn't work. I think the year prior it was Big E. Big E actually cashed in on Lashley. But I find with the Money in the Bank briefcase, it only works really good with a heel. Like if a face does it, like Big E did it, it's kind of cheap. Kind of like what we saw with Statlander this week. Like when you get this cheap win on a heel champion, it kind of takes away from this, big title win where it's great. You finally see the hero win. Well, the hero wins in a cheap style, kind of takes away from that win. So last 2 years, it has been great. And the year prior to that, wasn't like the Miz won because he got it from Otis?
Yes, in some sort of legal case, something, right? Oh,
so you've had crummy winners the last couple of years, or bad results off the win. So it hasn't been. To me, it's devalued the briefcase. For the women, I think it's been fine because I think for the most part they've been pretty successful with it. But also, they've also had this string of like they'll do the cash in, maybe 1 or 2 defenses, and then lose it right away. It happened to Liv Morgan. It happened to Nikki Cross too, if not mistaken.
Yeah, but it still got them the belt.
Yeah, I mean it's a win, but how long does that last though? That's the problem. Like beat Charlotte, but then Charlotte wins it back, and then you'll never win that title again. Beat Ronda, lose to Ronda, don't get that title back again.
Yeah, but Liv had a bit of a run.
A little bit. It wasn't that bad. Better than Nikki Cross for sure.
Yeah, it did something for Liv. It did something for Carmella back in, several years ago. I mean, I think for the women, it still does more than it does for the men these days. But we'll see. We know we have Ricochet, who qualified on Raw. Shinsuke Nakamura qualified on Raw. LA Knight qualified tonight on SmackDown. Matt Riddle has a qualifying match, but we don't know who his opponent will be, which pretty much means Matt Riddle's going to qualify for Raw. And then next week on SmackDown, we've got Santos Escobar wrestling Mustafa Ali, and also we have Baron Corbin wrestling Butch in qualifying matches. So that's going to be the field here for Money in the Bank. I'm expecting Ricochet, Nakamura, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Baron Corbin, I guess, and Matt Riddle. Or maybe Butch.
I go with Butch.
Butch? Yeah, I'm on the fence. Butch?
Yeah, I go with Butch. I think you want to make the match the best you possibly can make it. I think Corbin drags it down a bit. It's not his style of match. I think Butch, it's an interesting factor to throw him in there. I think he'd add a unique element to it. So it would make the match better to have him in it. So why not? Plus, it's in the UK. It makes more sense, I think, to have Butch in it.
Thanks.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Harold Schneider just gifted 5 memberships to the Ringside Report universe. So welcome to the new members. We're getting applause for new. Angelo was dropping membership gifts last night, and tonight Harold is dropping 5 membership gifts. So thank you, Harold.
Thanks.
Wow.
And welcome to the new members here. I'm seeing the names flash by. Silent by Deadly, Franco 316, Thomas McDonough, Min Kant, Jake Glasnovic. Thank you to all the new members, and thank you to Harold for giving them those memberships. Hopefully the new members stay on with the Ringside Report Network. $5 a month supports the network, a tremendous deal. Keeps us going strong here. We've got a lot to do, a lot to, studio costs and so on. I just got that new laptop. So yeah, I got it. So that's not free. You know what I mean? Okay.
Thanks.
So I think it'll be Rico, Nakamura, Riddle, LA Knight. What did I say? LA Knight, Escobar, and Butch. Now, of those 6 guys, who wins? And who wins and who do they challenge? Because Gunther did this promo with Riddle and was like, I hope you win and I hope you challenge me for the Intercontinental Championship. And I'm like, dude, why can't he just challenge you for the Intercontinental Championship? You really have to cash in a Money in the Bank briefcase to get an Intercontinental title shot? That seems a bit of a stretch. To me, if you get a Money in the Bank briefcase, you cash in on a belt that's difficult to get a hold of, like Roman's belt or maybe Seth's belt. The main belts of the show that you're on, possibly. I don't know why anyone would go after Gunther, but, I mean, I think Gunther is the number 1 guy on Raw. I'm not saying anything bad about Gunther. I think he's the number 1 guy on Raw. He's got maybe the most potential to beat Roman Reigns down the road. I think he could be the future of professional wrestling. He's super excellent. But he's the Intercontinental Champion, and I don't think you should win Money in the Bank and cash in on the Intercontinental Champion. Seems like you're cashing in, but you're kind of scared to go for the big prize. Makes you look afraid.
Right. Well, I just feel like Riddle doesn't need the briefcase to go for the Intercontinental title. I think they're teasing something that's going to happen, but we don't need the briefcase for that to happen. I think it's still going to happen in SummerSlam more than likely. Just he doesn't need to win the briefcase. But who does win the briefcase, though? Because when you look at that field, not a particularly strong field when you think about it. Like, I could see someone like a Ricochet win it, to be honest.
And tease cashing in on Seth Rollins? Babyface on babyface cash-in tease? It's kind of weird.
You could try. I don't know if it's going to work. You try on Roman. Good luck on that one, too. Thing is, too, say if Riddle won the briefcase, he couldn't actually try to cash in on Roman, right? Because he lost the match. He can never challenge Roman again for the title.
Mm-hmm.
So, would that mean he can't do the cash in on Roman then? Because of that?
How about LA Knight?
That's interesting. Okay, yeah. I think that's probably what people want to see the most after tonight, it looked like. Made Montez Ford look like a heel, so I could see that. It makes a lot of sense.
Match wasn't bad either. LA Knight beating Montez Ford tonight.
But I find, and I don't know if you agree or not, but WWE, when they see something like this, they're kind of late. When they realize someone's getting over like this, they'll push them, but not right away. It's like they'll have a couple of big losses, probably like he'll get close, win Money in the Bank, but he won't win. And then it's like, because they're not planning for him to be this big star yet. Until they're planning to make him a big star, then they'll give him the shot. But then he won't be over then. He's over now. But WWE is very late at times where someone's over and they don't react right away because it wasn't in their game plan pretty much. I feel like Liv Morgan the year prior was over, and then they kind of forced the briefcase because you should have won it the year prior. But oh well.
I heard rumors that LA Knight was going to win Money in the Bank. Right, I was reading those rumors a couple months ago that he was, talked about as a favorite to win Money in the Bank, and people wanted to see him win Money in the Bank. And you say they're gonna wait. He's 40 years old. How long do you wait?
Yeah.
No,
you're right.
If there's ever a time to push this guy, it's now. And him kind of lurking in the background, teasing a cash in on Roman Reigns. I think the fans would get behind that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Just he's still a heel, technically, right now, right? Even though he's being cheered, so
yeah, but
until they make him a face,
easily changeable. You win Money in the Bank, you start teasing, you cash in on Roman, you have a few tag team matches where you're with the Usos, 6-man tags with the Usos against some heels. You're a babyface. It's a quick. The fans are already there. WWE just has to do the turn. I think it's harder to get the fans on your side than it is to get the WWE to book you on the right side of the heel babyface fence.
Well, I think it's hard to get the WWE machine behind you, though.
Mm-hmm.
But the fans can be behind you. It doesn't mean the machine's behind you.
I feel like they're getting behind him, though. WWE.
Yes and no.
They qualified him tonight.
They're giving him... Sure. We got one step. Can you get to step 2? I'm questioning that. I don't know. I feel they'll tease it and they'll give him moments, but they're very good at not giving you what you want.
So, Ricochet, you think?
I could see... we have a heel and a face champion, right? So, if it's going to be someone from Raw, it should be a heel. And now you have 2 faces that qualified. So
there are no heels. It would be Riddle, who's also a babyface, Nakamura, babyface, and Ricochet, babyface. All 3 Raw guys are babyfaces.
Well, what they could always do, and this would probably be the best thing to do, because LA Knight's still a heel technically. Have him win, but not cash in on Roman, cash in on Seth. We saw AJ on Raw this week, even though he's on SmackDown, so who cares about the whole draft? Doesn't matter.
I guess. I don't see Ricochet cashing in on Roman, though. It doesn't make sense. I don't think Nakamura wins Money in the Bank. I don't think Santos Escobar wins Money in the Bank. I don't think Butch wins Money in the Bank. It's down to Riddle for me or LA Knight, and I think it's going to be LA Knight. I think that's the smartest pick right now. As far as for WWE and what they can build in the next year or so, LA Knight is the guy to go with right now. He can talk, he can wrestle. He's been around the world. He's a seasoned veteran. This is his time.
Almost died tonight, but he survived.
You think?
That springboard moonsault, that looked like it was getting kind of close to almost a head drop right there, but thankfully he turned just in time.
He survived.
Yeah.
So my pick is LA Knight. Your pick is Ricochet?
Well, right now I'd say Riddle, to be honest, but again, this could change.
Yankees are down 6-0 in the second inning right now.
That was close. 5-0. It's close.
It's bad. And Kershaw's on the mound, so, we're screwed. Wait. Josh Donaldson, first game back with the team. Solo shot. It's not over, baby. He just hit a home run. 6-1. We're clawing back. Take that, Kershaw.
It's going to be 21-16 by the end of the game.
Hopefully the Yankees are on the 21 side. So how about the women's Money in the Bank? We saw a qualifying match tonight. Zelina Vega beating Lacey Evans.
Oof, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Not great. Zelina's
What's wrong with Lacey Evans? I don't get it. Like,
I don't think she gets enough reps in. I think she just seems rusty. Because she was good at one point, then she went away for a while. She had a kid. She's come back, and she just hasn't hit the same stride. And I think it's because she's barely wrestling. She's in and out too. Like, she comes and goes. You don't see her for a long time, and then she's there, and then she's not. It's like the stop and start with Lacey Evans. I think she's got talent. It's not working.
why? I just feel like her matches when she's wrestling like Zelina, like it's just she doesn't do much. Just put her in a hold, wait forever, throw off whatever, maybe a counter reversal, and then another hold, and then another move or so, throw her around, another hold, and then
Yeah.
go to the finish. Like that
Yeah.
seems to be the recipe every match that she's done with her almost. It's like this is not going to help you whatsoever. No one's impressed by this.
Well, maybe she's told to do that. This is her, heel persona. She's Sergeant Slaughter. Work like Sarge.
I feel Sarge was better at like being a character, like interacting with the crowd. Like a lot of them just go through the motions, sadly. Sarge was great at getting heat. Obviously, he got too much heat at that point in his life, sadly.
But Lacey Evans she disappears. Like Xia Li. Whatever happened to Xia Li? Does she exist anywhere?
On Raw now.
Yeah, but
I think she's on.
You're not sure. She was.
By the way,
on the
is
show.
Shotzi now on SmackDown? Like I thought you said Shotzi was on Raw, but Shotzi showed up on SmackDown tonight.
I don't know. Is she on Raw?
Well, she wrestled on Raw. Remember?
I've lost track. It's hard to tell.
I guess.
I don't care too much. I don't think Shotzi's going to be in the women's Money in the Bank. So Zelina Vega has qualified. She's the only woman who's actually qualified. We have qualifying matches set up, though. Okay? So let's pick winners. Monday on Raw, we're going to have Natalya versus Zoe Stark. Now, pay attention. Don't pick a winner yet. And,
sorry.
and Becky Lynch versus Sonya Deville. Now, I think that Zoe and Trish will cost Becky her match, and Becky will return the favor with Zoe Stark. I don't think Becky and Zoe are going to be in this match because they have their own thing going with Trish Stratus. I think it might be Becky versus Zoe one-on-one. I don't think they're going to be in it. I think it's going to be Sonya and Natty.
Okay, I'm going the opposite way. I think Becky and Zoe will both be in it.
Oh. Well, We'll see Monday night on Raw, brother. But I think they're going to cost each other their matches, and it'll be Sonya and Natty getting the wins. And then we have Michin versus Bayley next week on SmackDown, and Shotzi versus Io Sky. And then we have one more spot, I think, to fill on SmackDown or Raw? Raw. And I think it'll be... Yeah, because Zelina's already qualified for SmackDown. Michin and Bayley are on SmackDown, and Shotzi and Io are on SmackDown. So we have one more Raw qualifier, and I think it's probably going to be Raquel Rodriguez. She would be my guess.
Yeah, that or Candice, but probably Raquel because they push her like crazy.
And I think she might win. I might say Raquel wins. Raquel or Raquel. I mean, I don't think Becky's gonna win. Maybe Zoe Stark if she's in. Like if Becky and Zoe are in it, I could see maybe Zoe winning with help from Trish or something. But I don't think Becky and Zoe are gonna be in it. I don't think Natty's gonna win. I don't think Zelina's gonna win. I don't think Sonya's gonna win. I don't think Bayley's gonna win. I don't think Io's gonna win.
I could see Io winning.
I think Bayley and Io are gonna cost each other the match. I think they're both going to be in it, and they're going to wind up messing up. And I think it'll be Raquel Rodriguez who wins Money in the Bank. And then everybody's going to wonder, like, who's she going to cash in on? Rhea Ripley or Asuka? Like, she's got options. Especially since she's on Raw, and the Raw Women's Champion is on SmackDown, and the SmackDown Women's Champion's on Raw. That still hasn't been fixed. But so I think it's going to be Raquel Rodriguez winning Money in the Bank. Because it's her time, too. It's her time to move up.
After watching that four-way tag, I wouldn't agree with that, but I mean, it's a forced push, so it doesn't really matter what you think. It's going to happen anyways.
That's right.
But I would say Rhea, to be honest. That's the match to build towards.
Yeah. And that's good too, right? If you give her the Money in the Bank, then Raquel and Rhea are kind of on a collision course. So that's good. I like that. That works for me.
Well, they're both on Raw, so it works. It should work.
You didn't like the women's fatal four-way tag team match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, the vacant belts that Ronda and Shayna won, quite obviously. It was Ronda and Shayna beating Io and Bayley, Raquel and Shotzi, and Chelsea and Sonya on Raw. Ronda with the armbar on Shotzi for the win. You didn't like that?
I thought overall it was a fine match, and I didn't mind the whole back and forth at the end. To me, what hurt the match was the whole, like, Raquel's got to look amazing before we go to commercial break. And we got to show her being super strong against everybody. Like, to me, that seemed way too forced, where it's like, okay, yeah, she's big and she can throw people around, but that's all she does. She just goes in there, lumbers around, throws people around, and there's not much else to it. It's a very simple routine that she has. And to me, it wasn't the best part of the match. The match actually picked up when she actually was out of the match and everyone else got to do something else. Like, the problem is, I feel like she's too big and they have to showcase that so much that it actually took away from the match.
Yeah, I didn't really mind. I like Raquel. I don't mind to see her showcase like that. I didn't have a problem with it. I thought the match was, whatever. Wasn't the best. It was a women's fatal four-way tag team match. Like, it was kind of a mess. We had some people in there that weren't quite the most seasoned of veterans, and then we had some others that are violent, and it was fun, but it wasn't
I think it had a good
classic
mix. I thought it had. I enjoyed the mix, actually. I thought it actually, for the most part, it worked, but Raquel kind of stood out, where it's like you're a bit of a sore thumb here, where everyone else is kind of meshing and there's a bit of chemistry, but Raquel's just got to do her power moves, and that's pretty much all she's going to do. And no one else can really touch. And the second you touch her, is like she dies too, by the way. Like, just one little shot to the back or something, or just grab her and she's dead. So it's like you're a giant 1 second, and then you're a wimp the next second. It's the way they book her, because there's no other choice, really, because everyone else should just gang up on her, or else no one gets any offense in.
No, Ronda doesn't need to gang up on anybody.
Yeah, but Ronda got her butt kicked by her if you watch that match.
Yeah, I guess.
Ronda sold like crazy
a little bit.
Her, which is fine. They're trying to make her look good, but the problem is she's limited what she can do. She does her moves, and that's it.
All right, John, clearly not a huge fan of Raquel Rodriguez. Doug Hepburn says, I wouldn't mind Bayley getting back into the main story line. So maybe he wants to see her win Money in the Bank. Ryan Katz wants to see Io Sky win Money in the Bank. Who was your pick?
I wouldn't mind. I go with Raquel too. I mean, I want Io to win, but I agree with you on that. It's probably going to be Raquel.
Mm-hmm.
Forced push, man. You can't deny that.
So there you go. We are unanimous on our women's Money in the Bank winner, Raquel Rodriguez. And the men's Money in the Bank winner, we're split. John going with Matt Riddle, and I'm going with LA Knight. Of course, we're a month out, so things could change. This is not the official Money in the Bank preview, but I wanted to get a sense, because we kind of have an idea of who's in this thing. And okay, what about SmackDown tonight? Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, Paul Heyman. That was really the best part of the show, the main part of the show. Other things happened, but really it was about the 1,000-day celebration for Roman Reigns, which is pretty historic.
It's amazing.
Triple H came out there, compared Roman Reigns to Muhammad Ali or Michael Jordan of professional wrestling, and I was like, well, he's held the belt for a long time. He's definitely a big star, but I wouldn't say he's, like, if you're going to name a top 10 list all-time greatest pro wrestlers, greatest superstars in the history of the business, is he even on it?
I think he should be. If you look at WrestleMania main events, I mean, he should be in the discussion. There's no question about it. To me, though, it's a little ridiculous. Triple H. Well, hold on. Just Triple H one moment is like, oh, Roman Reigns is holding the WWE Championship hostage and he's ruining everything for the fans. And now it's like, oh, let's celebrate Roman Reigns and put over the undisputed champion, even though there's a world champion. So it's not really an undisputed title anymore, but they still call it the undisputed championship. It just, to me, this made no sense. Like Triple H on one show is bashing Roman Reigns, and now he's praising Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Well, I'm not surprised at the confusion from Triple H. I just, when he's like, when everybody's talking about Roman Reigns and the greatness of Roman Reigns, I'm like, well, let's pump the brakes here. He's not Macho Man. Like, he's pretty cool and all, but he's not Steve Austin or The Rock. Like, he's all right, but he's no Hulk Hogan or Kurt Angle. Like, he's good and all, and he's cool and everything, but you could say WrestleMania main events. Come on. First of all, there's 2 nights of WrestleMania, so it barely counts anymore. Second of all, just because he's put in these matches doesn't mean that much to me. I'm talking about body of work,
Super chat.
level of stardom, crossover appeal. I mean, Roman is, maybe in the top 10, but I wouldn't put him in the top 5. And what did I just see? Roman is not top 10 for me as WWE champion from Jason Pete. Yeah. I agree with that. He's not a top 10 WWE champion for me either. I think of his generation, for sure. I think he's the best and biggest star in the business today. Right now, biggest star in the business, for sure. But we're talking all time. I don't know. He's had a long-ass title reign, and that's all nice. But that's the WWE kind of making it happen for him. The machine has been behind him for a long time, and they've done well. And it's worked, and he's worked, and it's been good. But when I think about the all-time, I'm not necessarily putting him up in there. That's just me. You can, John. You could do whatever you want, I know you'd put him way above John Cena.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Yeah, see, so I don't know about that. But do you put him above Hogan or Macho Man? I don't know,
I don't know if I put him above Hogan, but yeah, I'd say I put him above Macho Man.
Above Macho Man?
Let's face it, in terms of like box office, like he didn't last as long as Roman Reigns did.
People are still talking about Macho Man today. Like,
yeah,
I'm talking about legacy, body of work, star power, snap it to a Slim Jim. Everybody in the world knows Macho Man. I think people,
right?
If you surveyed the entire world, more people would know who Macho Man is than Roman Reigns today, and Macho's been dead for 10 years.
I mean, it depends your audience there. I think a younger audience.
I'm talking about the world. Everybody.
Well,
more people know Macho Man. Come on, man. Macho Man? Guy's a megastar. You're gonna put Roman Reigns above the Macho Man. I'm gonna remember that one, John. We're gonna keep that one on record. It's unbelievable.
Okay.
Macho Man Randy Savage, I'm talking about, John.
Right. I remember Macho Man. He was great. But I think Roman's a bigger star.
Wow. I disagree.
That's okay.
I disagree. Doug Hepburn says, I need an impression. Doug Hepburn dropping a super chat. He wants a Triple H impression. And he says, hi, Johnny.
Hey.
I don't know. What did Triple H say tonight? Hey, Roman, do you like this new belt I have for you? It's so yellow.
It looks
You
terrible.
like it? It looks just like your old one, except it's yellow. Yeah, Lauren agrees with me. Macho Man over Roman Reigns all day, every day. What? Johnny picking Roman. Favorite WWE champion. I mean, you're just saying based on WrestleMania main events and the length of time and whatever. I'm talking about personal opinion, how you feel about these guys. You feel more for Roman than Macho Man?
Roman right now,
Holy
like
shit.
his legacy
what?
is growing.
What the
It's
fuck? I'm
fantastic.
giving you an out. I'm trying to help you, man. I'm trying to
I don't need
send
it
you
now.
a lifeline. Hey, man.
I don't need no
You
more.
like Roman Reigns more than you like Macho Man Randy Savage. You got more love in your heart for Roman Reigns as a pro wrestler than Macho Man Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah. You're like, forget that. Acknowledge me. Way better.
I believe in the tribal chief, yeah.
Holy shit. I'm surprised. I can't believe you'd pick Roman over Macho Man. What's the matter with you?
I think Triple H obviously did.
Macho Man never had sex with my wife. Don't say that. What are you insinuating? I'm gonna give you a pedigree. Macho Man is pop culture. Johnny, that's crazy talk, says Jason Pete. Are you? Yeah. What? Dude.
I stand by it, man. You have to understand, Roman, what he's done over the last couple of years. Like, unfortunately, Macho Man was never able to get there because Hogan was always in his way. Like, Macho was always looked at as number 2. He was never really number 1. Even when it was champion, he was still number 2. Roman is number 1. Seth is number 2.
Yeah, well, John Cena was number 1.
Okay. Roman's still better than Cena.
You're going to put John Cena over Macho Man?
I wouldn't, but I know some people would, though.
Oh, so you wouldn't. Even though the longevity, same criteria as Roman, probably more, but no.
I could see why people would, though. Like you said, like with longevity and what he accomplished.
Yeah, okay.
In terms
but
of the star power, too.
Here's Doug Hepburn going, I understand Johnny's thinking Roman's reign is more significant than Macho Man. Macho Madness was better, though. Yeah, but John Cena's reign was more significant than Macho Man's, too, but you're putting Macho over John Cena. So it's really not, there's no, you can't try and say that there's logic or criteria here, John, because I'm talking about your gut, your personal preference, and you're saying Roman over Randy Savage.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd still do it, yeah.
I don't know how many guys in WWE I would pick over Macho Man today. Like, if you had to start a wrestling company today, okay, and you got to pick everybody in their prime, you're picking Roman Reigns on your team over Macho Man.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Holy shit. Not me. I'm taking Macho Man. I think people would watch my wrestling show, John. I don't know about yours. You'd have Roman Reigns wrestling Austin Theory every week. I'd have Macho Man against, Bret Hart and shit. I got Bret. We should do that, an all-time wrestler draft.
Apparently.
Well,
I only get Theory, apparently.
Yeah, you get Austin Theory and Roman Reigns. I get Bret Hart and
Roman.
Macho Man. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah. My undercard is Owen Hart versus Steve Austin, but nobody gets their neck broken. It's just a good match. It's a good old-fashioned match. Oh, man. Johnny. What are we going to do with this guy, Johnny North? Roman
You
over
gotta
Macho
acknowledge
Man.
Roman Reigns. Like, you truly never acknowledged him. That's the sad part. You kind of did, but not fully, clearly.
Well, I'm just saying I'll take Hogan over Roman any day. Because Hulkamania, far more
tough,
powerful than Roman Reigns. Far more powerful than whatever Roman has done. The island of relevancy is jack shit compared to the 24-inch pythons and Hulkamania, brother. What you gonna do? I don't have a stack of Hulk Hogan action figures behind me for no reason, brother. I'm Team Hogan all day.
I mean, Hogan made it so that Roman exists. So that's a tough one.
Yeah. And Roman's got 1,000 days, but they mentioned the three guys that have longer runs. Bob Backlund.
For now.
Roman passed Pedro Morales, which is, quite a feat. But now he's chasing Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, and Bruno Sammartino, who's got the longest run.
Well, Bruno's like over 2,000. It's gonna be tough. WrestleMania 38 or something he has to get to. No, sorry, 40 something.
Could happen.
45, 44.
Ooh, that's a while.
That's a while.
But Hogan? Come on, man.
Hogan, I think, would be next year. It'd be a little bit after WrestleMania next year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. You should have to beat Hogan to do it, brother.
Hey, didn't Hogan say he was going to come back and wrestle Austin? He said it, and then he took it back, right?
Oh, I think he wants to, but it's never going to happen.
Well, he shouldn't. His back is all messed up. It's sad, but too many leg drops.
Jason Pete says Roman is garbage. He's got 3 moves, bad promos, and basically only the stature.
How could you say bad promos? He's got the best promos right now in WWE and arguably in wrestling.
Good delivery, good facial expressions.
I mean, he was SmackDown tonight. It was the reason to watch SmackDown was Roman.
He does have some of the better acting in wrestling, which makes me think he's going to have a good Hollywood career when this is all done.
And he's done okay in Hollywood, too. Mm-hmm. He was in that Fast and Furious movie with The Rock.
So they gave Roman a new belt. It's a big yellow belt. It's super ugly. It looks like the old belt. When Triple H gave it to Roman tonight, they had the 1,000-day celebration with Roman, Solo, and Heyman. Triple H introduced him and then presented him with this belt. When Roman got the belt, he looked disappointed. Didn't he?
Well, it's like, yeah, that's it. That's kind of how it felt like.
He kind of looked like, oh, it's just the belt I already have, but yellow. This kind of sucks. I'd rather keep my old belt. But eventually he held it up and pyro went off. And he posed with it, and Triple H strapped it around his waist. And then the Usos came out, and Triple H left the ring, and we went to a commercial break. And then Jimmy Uso is staring down Roman when we come back, and Jey Uso is pacing around the ring, and Roman tells Jey to kick his brother Jimmy in the face, because that's what Jimmy did to him at Night of Champions, and he cost him the tag team titles. So Roman wants Jey to fix this by kicking his fellow Uso in the face. But Jey, of course, does not do this. Jimmy says, I kicked Roman because he was being a brother and standing up for his brothers, and Roman was being not a good brother. Because a brother doesn't manipulate and betray and beat down his own family like Roman has done. And he says, Roman, you've gone crazy. And I'm here to protect my brother Jey and my other brother Solo, who's standing by Roman. He's like, I'm protecting you too, Solo. And Jimmy says, when Roman's done using you and everything, he's going to toss you aside, Solo Sikoa. He's kind of giving him the Sami Zayn speech that Sami was giving them for several months, right? And Roman says, okay, how about we hear from Solo and see what he says? And Solo says, I acknowledge my tribal chief, but the Usos are my brothers. And then he goes and he stands with the Usos facing Roman. So now Roman is alone with Heyman there in his corner, and Roman looks worried. And at this point, I'm like, oh, are they doing this? And Jimmy wants to know if Roman wants to run things together with respect. He's like, we love you. We want to be a family. We want to be together. We need you. But we've got to run things together. You can't be the tribal chief and just barking out orders and doing whatever you want. And Roman kind of thinks about it, and then he goes, shut your mouth, to Jimmy, and Jimmy kind of pushes him in the face. And then the fans started chanting, holy shit, and the audio had to cut out from Fox. And then Jay kind of gets between Jimmy and Roman and says, hey, we can't be fighting. We need you. We're stronger together. And Roman doesn't know what to do. And then eventually he winds up hugging Jimmy. So it seems like, okay, maybe they've got this new bloodline thing where Roman has to kind of be nice and make it work. And I could foresee the next few weeks of TV and what they were going to do with this. With Roman being a nice guy and having to kind of figure out how not to bark orders and tell people what to do and all that stuff, like trying to make good with the Usos, but then eventually not doing it and turning on them and spearing them and, whatever. But they didn't do that because Roman in the hug takes the mic and says no to Jimmy, who offered, to do it together. And then Solo immediately decides, okay, and then he hits the Samoan spike on Jimmy, drops Jimmy, and Roman and Solo and Heyman leave, and Jay is like kind of crouching over his brother Jimmy. So Solo seems like he's joined the Usos, but then he turns because he acknowledges the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And I think all of this makes sense, and I'll get to that in a second. So then Heyman and Roman get on the stage with Solo, and Heyman's like, well, what about Jay? And Roman says, Jay's going to do what he always does. He's going to fall in line. So they expect Jay to kind of turn his back on Jimmy, which I don't think is going to happen, but they think Jay's going to rejoin them and it'll all be good, and Jimmy is the one who'll be ostracized, but I think Roman is kind of losing his grip on the whole thing. But Roman saying no, I think makes sense, because to Roman Reigns, he's the tribal chief. He's the guy at the top of the card. He's the champion. They have to protect him. He has to tell them what to do. It's got to be a top-down operation, and that's how he run things. He's run things, and it's been very successful for him. So when Jimmy says, hey, we can run the bloodline as like a partnership, Roman's like, no, that's not how these things go. We've had this set up. And I like that with Roman. It makes a lot of sense. And Solo, I think he makes sense too. When Solo says, these guys are my brothers, Roman, but I acknowledge you as a tribal chief, he stands with Roman, or he stands with the Usos. But then when Roman decides, like, no, we're not doing the bloodline this way, Usos, we can't do it this way. When Roman has decided we're not doing it as a team with respect, Solo's like, okay, the tribal chief has spoken. That means I got to take out Jimmy because that's what he wants. So, boom, he takes out Jimmy. Like, it all made a ton of sense to me. Everybody played their part perfectly. Solo, his facial expression, saying nothing but saying a lot with his face. Roman, Jimmy with a fantastic promo tonight. Heyman selling it perfectly. Jay selling it perfectly. It was the best thing on SmackDown. Some of the best TV that WWE can put together. This was WWE at its best, doing the drama with the bloodline and with the Roman and all that stuff. It was very well done. Well executed by everybody. Well put together, made sense. Everybody seemed like a human being in the situation, right? Nobody had emotions or reactions that seemed not human, not regular. Everything made sense given the characters at play. So I was quite satisfied with the end of SmackDown. The rest of the show was not great, but the main event segment, it took a while. It was about 25 minutes. Triple H was there. The new belt is ugly, but other than that, I thought it was really good. Really good stuff.
Well, WWE, for the most part, it's a soap opera. That's what it kind of felt like here. But it can actually be a good soap opera when we have a good story put in place and you have characters that play their part well. And this is what actually happened here. Usually can be a good story, but bad acting, or it can just be a bad story and they just try to make the most of it. But usually what happens. But this is just, a good story, and you had some good acting as well. And it all just came together here. You guys got guys all on the same page, all working to make sure it works correctly, and more than likely Heyman's the mastermind behind all this, putting this all together, and it's easily the best thing that you see, not just on SmackDown, but in all of WWE, easily.
Yep. And you compare this with like the Grayson Waller effect that we saw earlier on
Whoa.
SmackDown, right? I mean, sometimes they hit and sometimes they miss. And Asuka was the guest for this, and they show her beating Bianca at Night of Champions. Asuka's the new Raw champion, and Asuka speaks in Japanese, and Grayson asks her about Money in the Bank, and Io Sky comes out, and she talks about Money in the Bank all in Japanese to Asuka, and they go back and forth, and then Bayley shows up, and she's like, yeah, me and Io are going to be in Money in the Bank, and one of us is going to win. And then Shotzi comes out, and she's like, no, you're not going to win, Bayley. I'm going to win. And then Lacey Evans comes out, and she's like, no, I'm going to win Money in the Bank. And then Zelina comes out and says, you're not going to win, Lacey. It will be me, the winner of Money in the Bank. I mean, that's not exactly what they said, but pretty much. And then, so they're all kind of arguing in the ring, and Asuka has disappeared at this point. She's on the stage, and then Bianca Belair attacks her, and refs and agents and Adam Pearce show up to separate them. Another pull-apart brawl, because it wouldn't be a week of WWE TV without a pull-apart brawl. I can't say it enough. I'm getting kind of tired of repeating myself, but WWE keeps doing it. They lose their effect. You get desensitized to these pull-apart brawls if you see them every week. They mean nothing. There's no urgency. There's no violence. There's no reason to watch. We know you're going to go to commercial, and we'll never see these two again. They got separated. They went back to their locker rooms, and then they just left. We don't know what happened. Like, Bianca and Asuka are fighting each other. They have to be separated by all these people, and then we go to commercial, and everything's fine. And we never hear about it again. And that's how WWE operates. They do these pull-apart brawls, and they know that you're so used to seeing them that you don't give a shit if these people are still mad at each other backstage, because you see it all the time. It's meaningless. So that was that. Garbage segment, garbage promo, absolutely nothing. And then it led to Zelina Vega Lacey Evans match, which wasn't great either. Yuck. Grayson Waller is like, what, the new Miz? He's useless too.
Honestly, The Miz is much better than him, though. Like,
Wow.
from what we've seen from him, I mean, come on. At least with The Miz, like, there's at least some lines where it's like, oh, that could be kind of funny, or that's entertaining, you know? Like, you can at least garner a reaction. Like, to me, I'm like, wow, I feel like I can hear crickets during this whole segment. Like, the crowd didn't care whatsoever. I didn't really care. I'm like, can this end soon? It was that bad, and I don't think it even lasted that long. It is dreadful. Like, Roman might be the best thing on SmackDown, but they might have some of the worst stuff in WWE on SmackDown right now with Grayson Waller, and I was not a big fan of Pretty Deadly again this week. Like, I thought wrestling-wise wasn't so bad. Promo-wise, though,
Oh, man.
Like, oof.
That Austin Theory promo lasted way too long that opened the show. Austin Theory and then Pretty Deadly doing a promo in the ring. That was awful. Austin Theory doesn't work for me.
I don't get why they won. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, the Brutes lost. Theory beat Sheamus. Pretty Deadly beat Butch. And the other guy, I keep forgetting his name. Ridge Holland, yeah. They beat him. And they lose the trio match. Like, they're not even a true trio, and yet they beat the Brutes anyways.
It's like WWE. It's a six-man tag, John.
Well, I'm gonna call it a trio. I got that. That actually sounds pretty good.
I don't like it. A trios match. Trio. I don't like that. It's a six-man tag. Trios match.
Well, as a faction, they're actually a faction, though.
Yeah, I know.
And
it doesn't make sense.
Win.
Yeah, Sheamus losing so much is weird. Sheamus, Butch, and Ridge lost to Pretty Deadly and Austin Theory. It was not a great match, and it kind of sucked. But you know, that whole big chunk of SmackDown sucked. Good Brothers beat Hit Row, hit the Magic Killer. Anderson and Gallows get a win on WWE TV, which I feel like we haven't seen in years, maybe. Top Dollar attacked both of the brothers after the match, so AJ Styles hit Top Dollar with the phenomenal forearm. It's AJ's birthday today. So that happened. Wasn't particularly good because, hit row. And then we had LA Knight beating Montez Ford to qualify for Money in the Bank. Zelina Vega beating Lacey Evans to qualify for Money in the Bank. And the Roman Reigns promo. And that was pretty much SmackDown. That's all that happened. Not a great show, but a solid main event promo. But everything else on the show was pretty mid. Mid to bad.
Still, the main event segment still made it better than Raw. Mm-hmm. That shows how bad Raw was this week.
Yeah, Raw pretty much sucked. When you open the show, it's Seth Rollins cutting a promo. Seth split his leather pants before he even got in the ring. Looked ridiculous.
I didn't notice that.
Oh my God, his pants split at the crotch. You didn't notice that? That was not a fashion choice. His pants just broke before he got into the ring. Pyro and streamers fell as Seth got in the ring. He's the new champion. It was a celebration. And he says he's here for a fight. And AJ Styles came out and congratulated him. And then Judgment Day came out and said one of them is going to be champion one day. And it might be Damian or Finn or even Dominic. And they kind of laughed at that. AJ and Seth did. And then they wanted a match with AJ and Seth later tonight or on Raw. And they accepted, and that was the main event. Seth and AJ beating Damian Priest and Finn Balor. Curb stomp on Priest for the win. And we're not done because Seth will defend the newly won World Heavyweight Championship on Raw Monday night against Damian Priest. You think Damian Priest will win the championship?
Think no chance.
No chance in hell. So that happened on Raw. What else? Shinsuke Nakamura beat Bronson Reed to qualify for Money in the Bank. Hit the Kinshasa. That was not bad.
It was okay. I'm disappointed in Bronson Reed losing though. There was no back and forth. It was a bit of back and forth, but for the most part, he just lost. I just felt they didn't really do much to protect him on that one. They usually protect him, make it seem like, it's close. He just lost.
Yeah, it was weird that he just lost, but I thought the match itself was fun. I was surprised at the finish, but I liked the match. Ricochet beat The Miz. I didn't love that because, Miz was wrestling. Ricochet beat him to qualify for Money in the Bank. Yeah.
It was an all right opener. It started the show.
Yeah. Trish Stratus cut a promo in the ring. They tried to drown out Trish with fake boos. Did you notice that? But I think she was getting cheers. There were a lot of fake boos in there.
She's a legend, so why not?
And she had a big bruise on her chin from the match. And Trish says Becky's not there, and her absence can give room to real stars like Zoe Starks, who comes out. And Zoe says she could have taken the long, hard road to the top, but she chose to join Trish and get to the top fast and go after Becky. And then Becky comes out, which surprises Trish, and she wants a rematch with Trish. Zoe tries to attack Becky, but immediately gets punched and tossed into the barricade. Becky just kind of was like, yeah. And then she starts beating up Trish, but Zoe came back and helped Trish, and they did a 2-on-1 beatdown on Becky. I don't remember refs and agents coming to stop this. They pick and choose when they stop the assaults, right? The unscheduled assaults are sometimes stopped, and sometimes they just allow them to go on.
Well, because they probably have it in the script where it's okay, this is where we're going to have referees come out, but this one, we won't have it come out because they won't want to overdo the referees coming out. Because if you feel it, imagine how it would be like if they did it several times throughout the same show.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong about that. Do you think you think Becky and Zoe are going to be in the Money in the Bank, right? And Trish just won't wrestle? How about Becky and Lita against Trish and Zoe in just a tag match at Money in the Bank?
Okay, maybe. We're going to get Becky and Trish again eventually. It's just, SummerSlam. You got to wait for that one. I was a little disappointed though. I don't know if you noticed Zoe like kind of messed up her finish a little bit there on Becky.
I don't know what her finish is, so I can't tell if she messed it up.
Oh, well, it's supposed to be like a knee to the like a flip over knee to the face. That was more of a flip over, kick you in the gut is what happened.
I don't know.
So that clearly wasn't what was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm. Indu Share beat two jobber guys in a match.
Oh, let's talk about this.
Why?
I have to say, well, we could talk about this because WWE, like, what the heck's going on with their enhancement talent? This looked like nobodies, like guys that just got off the streets. Like they looked absolutely pathetic. One guy looked like a mesh between like a Matt Hardy slash just a guy off the streets, like living on the streets. He had no socks, wearing sneakers, had like an old like Matt Hardy, like when he just started as a Hardy Boy kind of look, and like got suplexed and then took the finish, and that was it. Like did nothing. Looked absolutely pathetic in terms of his physique. That was like, what are they doing? Like they have nobodies now, I guess. Like
Yeah,
dude, that was
they're jobbers.
sad. No, but like, there's jobbers, and then there's just like, you should not be on television, like ever.
I don't know.
Like, that was
I didn't
bad.
notice. I honestly did not notice.
Well, I noticed. I'm like, wow, like it's really gotten bad in wrestling now.
I don't pay attention
They
to the
really don't
jobbers. I only noticed Veer for some reason doing a crotch chop at one point. It's like, why are you doing the DX chop, Veer? Is that part of your gimmick? I think he just got excited. It was weird.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Don't do that, maybe. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens cut a promo in the ring talking about retaining the titles at Night of Champions. And Sami gloats about watching the bloodline crumble and Roman Reigns deserving everything he got and getting kicked in the face, and he's all happy about it. And then Imperium comes out, and Ludwig Kaiser says Gunther's win at Night of Champions was more impressive than theirs. And Kevin Owens is like, why are you guys here? You're not allowed to come out. And he gets all mad, right? He's like over the top mad about them coming out because they're not allowed to show up just unannounced because it's Kevin and Sami's interview time. That was a bit odd. Like, it was like, okay, all right. And
this was bad, man.
Yeah, and then they tried to do the comedy stuff, and Kevin's like, how come we never hear from the bald guy? How come it's always Kaiser or Gunther talking, and we never hear the bald guy talk? And then Kaiser's like, shut up, guys. You're an embarrassment. And then Gable, Otis, and Maxine come out, and Gable says they're the new and improved Alpha Academy. They have. So Maxine is no longer like a model manager. I guess the models have been scrapped. She's just a member of the Alpha Academy. And then they had a match where Imperium beat Gable and Otis with Sami and Kevin on commentary. So it seems like Kevin and Sami are going to feud with Imperium. They had a really weird close-up of angry Corey Graves after the match. Like, I don't know what happened there. Maybe Corey was annoyed with Kevin and Sami on commentary, but they zoomed in on Corey Graves' face, and he just looked really upset on the desk right after the match. It was strange. You not notice that? A lot of people noticed that.
I noticed it, but I kind of felt the same way just listening to the commentary. I thought it was really bad, and it hurts me to say that because I'm a big fan of Kevin and Sami, but I was not a fan of their promo. I thought the commentary actually hurt the match more than helped the match. It wasn't good. And this whole like, it's weird. They can call someone baldy, but say if like he had a gut and they said he was kind of tubby, like that would be terrible. But apparently you can make fun of someone for being bald. But if they have a gut, that's bad, right?
You would think.
Like where's the line?
I don't know. And you can't really help being bald, whereas, you can do things to. Anyhow.
Well, some people do it intentionally, being bald.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I shave my head. I'm not bald, but, I keep it real short.
You have been.
Not bald. I've never shaved my head to the skin.
Not bald, but like it's very, very short.
Well, I do a 1, and it just grows back. But
yeah, that's it.
I have a full head of hair if I want to grow it out, which is nice. It's a good option to have. Dolph Ziggler and JD McDonuts went to a double countout. JD continued to attack Dolph after the match. I could give less of a shit about that. JD McDonuts and Dolph Ziggler. How is that even on TV?
More crickets during this match. No one
Garbage.
like they never got JD over.
Nope.
And he's already doing like no contests already. Like, how are you gonna get over if like you can't have like actual results in your matches?
Couldn't even beat Dolph Ziggler. Cody Rhodes did something, noteworthy because he's a star on the show, not like JD McDonuts and Dolph Ziggler. Cody Rhodes talked about losing to Brock Lesnar. He did a promo in the ring there. Cody lost to Brock at Night of Champions, but he says, I didn't tap because that's not the man that I want to be. Cody obviously has never done jiu-jitsu because you're going to tap a lot, and it's okay if you don't ever tap it. No one never taps in jiu-jitsu ever. No one who's ever done jiu-jitsu for more than a day has
Maybe
not
there's that
tapped.
John Moxley jiu-jitsu.
Kill jitsu? Death jitsu?
Death jitsu, yeah.
Death
that's what he
jitsu.
called it, right?
I like that. I
Yeah.
like death jitsu. It's a fun concept. It's a fun name. I'm warming up on the BCC. We'll talk about AEW in a minute. Cody talked about Brock Lesnar and how he's not there, and he says, I assume Brock's on his annual vacation, and there's no way Brock is satisfied with it being 1-1. I won one, you won one. There's got to be a third match, and Cody issues an open challenge for Brock Lesnar to show up and face him anytime, anywhere, and he says Brock is afraid of me. So, Money in the Bank, Cody versus Brock, round 3. I don't see a reason to wait any longer. It's London. It's a big show. You need a big match. Cody Brock is a big one.
The only thing, though, Cody has a broken arm still, right? Like, shouldn't he not wrestle until that's somewhat healed?
It's a fake broken arm. He could be a month off. I mean, it's a month. You got all of June. You wrestle July 1st. His arm isn't really broken. Who cares? And he can sell
You're
it
not
like
wrong.
it's not broken anymore, but it's still a little banged up, and Brock can like smash it in the match. Like, come on, it's wrestling, man. It's not real.
Right, but still go within the rules in a sense, or the realm of their logic, in the sense that, too, like, he shouldn't have been using that cast, by the way. That was illegal what he was doing in that match. Like, Owen Hart wasn't allowed to do that when Owen Hart had a cast. He did it behind the referee's back when he used the cast. Cody clearly doing it right in front of the referee. That should have been a disqualification.
What about Bob Orton?
I feel Orton as well, too, like, because he would interfere in Piper's matches and use the cast.
Okay, but you know my rule. It's the Hulk Hogan rule, brother. If you're wearing it when you enter the match, it's legal. Hogan used to wear that weight belt in his matches in WCW, and halfway through the match, he'd pull the belt off and start whipping guys with it, and he'd never get disqualified. If it's part of what you're coming into the ring with, because the referee, right, old school referees, they would check you, they would search your body and touch you all up to see if you have weapons. So whatever you come in the ring with, it's the referee's fault if he lets you in the ring with a cast with metal in it or a weight belt or whatever. If he allows you to have something you can use as a weapon, you're allowed to use it as a weapon if you're dressed, if it's on your person and the referee hasn't barred you from having it before the bell rings. That's my rule, John, and I think that's official pro wrestling rules. If we're getting technical about it.
Well, again, with the cast, though, I feel there's an exception to that rule. Where it's like that could be a weapon and that should not be allowed. Like, you obviously you have to wear the cast because you're wearing it for your protection. However, you can't use it as a weapon.
Yeah, but the story is Cody's going in there with a broken arm, and they're trying to give him a bit of an equalizer by using the cast as a weapon against Brock Lesnar. They're trying to give you a reason why Cody can have a competitive match with Brock Lesnar while he has a broken arm. Right? Like, you
Right.
got to come up with something, man. But I get what you're saying, but I also think that it doesn't matter at all. You know what I mean?
Well, in the grand scheme, of course not. But I mean, in the end, just make it a no DQ, so then you can not worry about stuff like that.
Yep. But Money in the Bank, right? We don't have to wait. Tell me we don't have to wait.
Well, as long as Brock wants to go to London. Brock doesn't want to go to London, then you're waiting.
Maybe Brock wants to go to
Detroit's a lot
Detroit.
closer.
Detroit for SummerSlam, brother. All right, well, that's pretty much everything going on in WWE world these days, except Alexa Bliss announcing her pregnancy this week. So congratulations to Alexa, who obviously will be off for quite some time from the WWE, and maybe forever. I could see this being the end of her wrestling career. You know, she has a kid. She's been off TV for so long. It seems like she was maybe unhappy with her current status with the company. I can see her being done. And if she is,
Well, how many years
fine.
did she have?
If she's not, great. You know what? I'm not, saying one way or another. But, she had a great career. And if she is done, I think that makes a lot of sense. I feel like she's trying to move on from pro wrestling and branch out. Good for her.
Well, she peaked early,
Yeah.
really, when you think about it. They gave her a bunch of title reigns, made her something off those title reigns. And she had that Bray Wyatt angle. And that was pretty much it. After that, it was just kind of repeat the same thing over and over, and not much really changed. There was no true evolution. It was always go backwards, do this, team with Nikki Cross, don't team with Nikki Cross. It just felt like it was just the same thing over and over again. So I could see that she was done with it, but WWE would probably use her again too, because she seemed popular enough.
Yeah, I think she's a star. But sometimes when you become a big star, you move on from WWE. And if she can move on and make more money without hurting her body, she's been on little reality shows and competition shows and stuff, right? She was on Masked Singer, I think. She's been on a bunch of stuff. If she could branch out and do that type of stuff, go into the Hollywood world, I think that would be good for her. Because she's had some concussion issues, too,
Oh, she was very injury prone, if you remember correctly.
Yeah, but a lot of it was concussions from what I remember for a while. Like her head was getting knocked around.
I think so.
I
If
thought.
I'm not mistaken, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully, she's all right. And, but she's pregnant, so career, whatever. Wrestling career's on hold for now, for sure. She's going to have a
Is
kid.
there any news on
her.
Charlotte? Is Charlotte also gone because of that, or?
Charlotte is just off, as far as I know.
Okay.
I don't know if she's pregnant. I have not heard that she's pregnant. But, I don't know. You would think if she wanted to have children, it would be around this time where her... Because she's, 35, 36?
Well, it seems after every Mania now, she's taking time off, so.
Yeah. Charlotte is 37 years old. I mean, maybe she and Andrade want to start a family, but I haven't heard anything about that. I don't know if she is pregnant or is trying to get pregnant or anything, but Charlotte is off. It'd be great to have her back. She's a great star, but again, different priorities. Who knows? Who knows what Charlotte is going to do? Hopefully she comes back to wrestling soon, but if she's going to have a kid, I mean, I totally understand that. I've got a couple myself. So, makes sense to me.
Just 2 for now, yeah.
No, that's enough. But they're excellent. They're my favorite thing. There's nothing better than the kids. So, I recommend it. If she wants to go and do that, no championships, WrestleMania main events will equal the kids. So, and her and Andrade, the kids would be beautiful. It's a beautiful couple. The kids would be fantastic. So athletic and muscular. Those kids would be doing Hurricane Ranas in by the age of 6 months. Those kids will be awesome. So I hope she does have some little Andrade flares. Okay. Andrade is not in AEW right now. I haven't seen him in a while. I think he's been hurt.
He's advertised for Collision.
He is advertised for Collision. Tony Khan announced CM Punk will be on the premiere episode of Collision, and it got some cheers in the arena, but also some boos. And people were surprised
Mixed
by
reaction.
the boos. I was not surprised by the boos. They were in San Diego. It's Southern California. It's Young Bucks country. I'm not surprised he got some boos. Like, he got a lot of cheers,
Right.
too. It was a mixed reaction, and you're in kind of the Young Bucks' backyard. Like, not exactly, but close enough. Home state, Southern California. You know. I think Punk is going to get massively cheered when he shows up in Chicago. I think the fans will be mostly on his side. There may be some fans that boo him. I'm not sure why.
Colt Cabana fans.
I guess.
Colt's also from Chicago.
I mean, not just in Chicago. I mean, I don't know why you would boo CM Punk. In general.
Well, I think some people just take sides in the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
you said, like even if they don't know him, they just take the side of people that they like. So
Yeah, I
I'm
don't
sure a
know
lot
any
of
of these
people-
people. I'm not taking sides.
right, you're just paying attention to the Yankees game. How's that going? Give us an update.
No, I don't.
You can't
I
give
mean,
us
I
the
just
Yankees?
I'm not picking sides with Punk and the Bucks. Like, I don't care. The Yankees are losing 7-2 in the 5th. They're having problems with the pitch comm. That's what's going on right now. Trevino is having problems with his pitch comm, and he's trying to get things fixed. I think it's the pitch comm. Yeah, he can't hear what's going on. Yeah. So that's what Tony Khan's announcement was this week. Elsewhere on AEW Dynamite, we had the Blackpool Combat Club opening up the show against the Lucha Brothers and Bandito. I like this match. Bryan Danielson was on commentary. It was Moxley, Wheeler, and Claudio. It was a fun match. They had a good match on the pay-per-view. I'm starting to warm up to this Blackpool Combat Club. It's a good group. And I like the way it's formed currently. Like, when it started, it was kind of muddy, and Regal was there, and then he wasn't. And since he's been gone, I feel like they've struggled to find their footing and determine who they are as a group. But after the pay-per-view and seeing them on Dynamite after beating the Elite at the pay-per-view, I finally got it. And I think they are starting to get who they are, what they are, and what kind of team they are. And it's fun. I like what they are. I like what they represent. I like how Bryan talks about them and talks for them and then wrestles on the pay-per-views with them and lets them kind of do his bidding. I like that dynamic of Bryan as the leader. I like Moxley in this group with Claudio and Wheeler. It elevates Wheeler. It elevates Claudio. It put Moxley in a good space. It's good. And the match I thought was quite good to open up Dynamite this week. I am really liking the Blackpool Combat Club. And this week, I think I realized it. I was like, yeah, I like Bryan Danielson. I like Claudio. Moxley fits. Wheeler's getting there. Nothing wrong with this. The attitude, the look, the presentation, the way Bryan is speaking for them, Bryan on commentary while they're wrestling, it's all starting to really gel. I think they have something big here, and they're going to keep it going.
Well, this was the best match, I think, on Dynamite this week. I don't know.
Yep.
I was thinking what was better, and it's like some things were okay, but overall, like you think of what was best, start to finish, it had to have been this match.
Yeah, it was very good. You like the Blackpool Combat Club? Are you into them as I am?
they're
Because I'm
all right.
like, I'm into it. I'm like, yeah, I like the vibe, you know?
I mean, I always thought Claudio was one of the best wrestlers in the world, so I'm not surprised. I wish he would do a bit more promos, but I get it. Moxley and Danielson they're really strong promos, so they do a lot of the talking. But I wouldn't mind seeing him, even Wheeler. I mean, he might not be the best at promos, but just to see more of that. I mean, we see him wrestle a lot more. Just see him talk a bit more. Like that's the more you do it, the better you get at it. So, and he's got some good people around him. But it's a good group. It's a decent group, good mix of
Yeah.
different kind of styles.
Yeah.
And Wheeler helps in a sense, like try to be a mix of all of them in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So it works. And I think maybe the only thing it's kind of a negative is like they're heels, but I feel like they're kind of not heels. They're too cool of heels in a sense where you like them too much,
Yeah. Are they heels?
They're supposed to be, I think. They act
Yeah.
like they are.
Yeah, I guess.
The music doesn't help.
Don Callis isn't with them though. Like
It doesn't look
got
like it.
They got help from Callis and Takeshita to win the match of the pay-per-view, but Callis and Takeshita seem to have acted on their own, and they're blaming Kenny Omega. Right?
Well, he could have his own faction. I mean, that kind of makes sense. I think Don can have his own group.
I think he might be doing that. So the Young Bucks and Hangman are backstage, and they're all beat up after the Blackpool Combat Club match, and they feel like the Blackpool Combat Club have brought out the worst and the most dangerous in them, and they're all beat up, and they don't know what to do because they lost the match, and they did everything they could, and they still came up short. It's Hangman. It's the Bucks. Kenny's not there. Hangman says Kenny is out of the country. Marvez says Kenny's in Canada, but Hangman says he's out of the country, but he's not in Canada. And I think there were pictures of Kenny with Kota Ibushi in Japan. So, okay. And the Dark Order showed up at 1.2 during this promo and was like, oh, hey, Hangman. Oh, I guess you're with your real friends. And then Hangman kind of wanted to talk to them, but Marvez had more questions, so the Dark Order was kind of in and out of that promo. I don't know what the future holds
for the Dark Order.
I don't know.
That's what it felt like. It felt like Dark Order just turned heel right there.
I don't think so.
The way they were talking was kind of like whiny, and it's like, oh, I see this, like the way it is, like. And did you see it? Like I caught a clip on Twitter. Apparently, Stu Grayson is no longer in the Dark Order.
What?
Yeah, he turned on them.
When did this happen?
Like apparently, I think on Ring of Honor last night, he attacked Uno and they had a fight, and yeah, he's out.
Okay, so maybe because he's just sticking in Ring of Honor, and Dark Order's going to be in AEW.
Maybe. Well, I think they're probably building. I don't watch Ring of Honor all the time, but they might be having Uno versus Grayson, I guess, on the Ring of Honor pay-per-view that's going to be coming up.
Okay. Well, so there was that action, and then there was Don Callis in the ring with a promo with Konosuke Takeshita, and he got booed out of the building. Massive heat for Don Callis. He could barely get any words out. It was fantastic. He says, the fans, you're booing me, but you should be booing Kenny Omega. I'm the real victim here. It's all Kenny's fault. I did everything for Kenny. And the fans are like, woo, boo, boo. And the crowd shots of the fans, like some of these guys in the crowd, I think they were putting it on a little bit, but they're like, ah, like they're so mad at Don Callis. It was so crazy.
Well, if they're Kenny fans, I get it.
I mean, that mad to be a grown man, that angry about another man pretending to, beat up your favorite wrestler? Like, come on, man.
Hey, Southern Wrestling, come on.
It's San Diego. It's Southern California, John. It's not Southern Wrestling. They were in San Diego. No. Anyways, Callis got tons of boos. He says Takeshita is better than Ricky Dozan. He's better than Antonio Inoki. He's even better than Kazuchika Okada. And soon he's going to prove that he's better than Kenny, by God, Omega. And then Takeshita cuts a promo in Japanese. And then in English he says, we will destroy Kenny Omega. We will destroy the Elite. And then Don says they're going to cut the Elite out of all Elite Wrestling. So I guess the Elite is done with the Blackpool Combat Club, and they are now feuding with Don Callis, Konosuke Takeshita, and whoever else he has up his sleeve. Right?
So I think they're still gonna. It's unfinished, I think, with BCC, but I think for now, yeah.
For now.
Don Callis. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe down the road next year, 6 months from now, whatever. But right now, it seems like, okay, pay-per-view's over. We're going to shift the focus. That's okay.
Well, that's okay. I mean, now you're shifting to summer feuds, pretty much.
Any ideas at all who Callis could have on his team?
It's a great question. I mean, are you just going to bring in people from New Japan? Is that the idea? Or you have some people waiting in the wing in the indies? Like, it's tough to say.
Maybe he's going to get Swerve's old goons who disappeared. Remember Swerve had goons?
It's not top level, though. I mean, you're going against the Elite. You're going to need top
better
talent
guys
for that, no?
Yeah. I think you're right. All right, what else happened on this show? Jay White and Juice Robinson cut a promo about FTR helping Ricky Starks at the pay-per-view, and then FTR came out, and they start fighting with Jay White and Juice, and they get taken down, and I don't know what happened there. They showed quarters on the mat. I think we're supposed to understand that Jay White and Juice Robinson punched FTR with a fistful of quarters, but it was never explained that I could tell.
Dax, I think, took the shot, yeah.
Did they explain that at all on commentary?
I think they did. I think Taz said it, that, was it Jay that punched Dax with the quarters? I think that's what happened, yeah.
Okay. And then Ricky Starks showed up after FTR was down, and Juice and White ran away from Ricky Starks, and Ricky challenged Jay White to a match on Dynamite next week, which will happen. So that was on Dynamite. I mean, I don't know. Jay White against Ricky Starks again? Why?
Well, it was unfinished. I actually thought they'd have the match at Double or Nothing, so it's kind of surprising that they waited until Dynamite. But yeah, it's not finished, so just to have it, because it wasn't clean last time, so have it actually happen. But Jay White should win this match.
You would think. Ricky Starks, Jay White with FTR and Juice Robinson all banned from ringside. So we'll see if that actually means they're banned from ringside. Swerve Strickland got a win over Big Bill and Trent in a triple threat match. Wasn't terrible.
Wasn't terrible. I just thought the first match was better. But this was all right. There's some good action. It
wasn't bad.
Trent really showed himself in this match. You see Trent more often in tag matches, but I thought he showed what he could do as a singles. It's not too bad.
Swerve winning this match and getting himself a title shot at Orange Cassidy next week at the International Belt on Dynamite. I think Orange will retain it, though. I don't see Orange dropping the belt before Forbidden Door.
Exactly. But I would not be upset if Swerve won, because I think that'd be actually pretty good. Swerve's good, man. I think they should push him.
Yeah, I like Swerve. The group that he's got now with him, it's like...
Yeah, whatever. But he's good, though. Like, he can make it work.
Like, Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin beat those two guys that Swerve's got with him, right? Who are those guys?
So it's like the Gates of Agony, if I'm not mistaken.
Gates of Agony.
Yeah.
So Orange and Darby beat those guys. Darby, off the loss to MJF, now he's in a tag team with Orange Cassidy. Jungle Boy seems to be in a tag team with Hook, too. So those guys kind of kept moving, doing different things. So Orange and Darby beat the Gates of Agony after the coffin drop. Swerve and Brian Cage, who are with the Gates of Agony, advanced on Darby and Orange after the match. Looked like they were going to beat them up. But, of course, Sting made the save, and everybody ran away. Sting just had to come out with a baseball bat, and every heel just ran. Brian Cage, Gates of Agony, Swerve, all these young, jacked men just ran away from the old man with the baseball bat. But, it's Sting. It's not just any old man. It's the Stinger, brother.
Well, usually Usually when Sting comes back like this, that means we're going to get another match probably coming up soon.
Yeah.
Him and Darby against some team.
Probably Swerve, Brian Cage, and somebody else. A Gate of Agony, perhaps.
Or just Brian Cage and Swerve against Darby and Sting. That works too.
Yeah. Hook was interviewed in the ring. Has Hook ever spoken? Because Shivani is asking him questions, and he's about to speak, but then he got interrupted by Jose Jarlistico and Preston Vance.
He said as many words probably Solo has said, I think.
So, although Solo spoke tonight on SmackDown a little bit.
Right. Just very little, that's it. But with Hook, very little.
I don't know what Hook sounds like. He didn't speak in this promo. Jose Jarlistico and Preston showed up, and Jose is like, we don't get opportunities. Hook gets all the opportunities. And then they go and start beating up on Hook. And Jungle Boy shows up with a chair and takes out Vance and Jarlistico. And he goes after Jose, but Jose backs into the ring and gets hit with a suplex from Hook. And then Jungle Boy and Hook stood together. So it looks like they're going to maybe team up for a bit.
No, team before, remember Jungle Hook?
Yeah, but I mean maybe kind of on a more permanent basis. It was a short thing.
Yeah.
What else are they doing?
What's Jungle Boy doing? Exactly. So just put him as team now.
Yeah. The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn cut a promo on the stage about how they lost the Trios title match against House of Black. And they're kind of sad about that. And they said they got screwed out of the tag team titles and they're going to win belts again. And Billy Gunn deserves to hold championships again. And I was like, okay, what does this mean? Who are they going after? The tag team titles? No.
They didn't really say.
It was not clear. Are you going back after House of Black? You want a rematch with them? It was not clear. It's like, okay, we lost the Trios belts to these guys. And we lost the tag team belts, but we want belts. Well, which ones? They did not specify. It was a very strange promo. Maybe like they're going to go after the New Japan Trios belts at Forbidden Door? I really don't know.
That's an idea.
I don't know who the champions are.
You know, with it being less than a month away, no match is still announced for Forbidden Door. Kind of surprising. I feel like at this point we had at least some idea. Like after the first Dynamite after Double or Nothing last year, I felt like things were shaping up. Nothing is really shaped up whatsoever here. But maybe because it's sold out already, if I'm not mistaken, or close to a sellout Forbidden Door, so maybe they're just not worried about it.
Well, there's no way that they take on the New Japan Trios champions.
Why is that?
Because it's Okada, Tanahashi, and Tomohiro Ishii.
That'd be pretty amazing if that happened. Wow.
For the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn? Yeah, it'd be pretty good for them, I think.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that.
The Acclaimed and Billy Gunn against Okada, Tanahashi, and Ishii. As a fan, you'd be happy with that? I'd be a little confused.
Pretty good. Just to be like, middle of the card kind of thing. I'm like, wow, that's pretty good middle of the card right there.
Yeah, but what do you put at the top of the card? Like, what's your main event for Forbidden Door?
Can we get Naito?
I don't know. I would do...
Well, I'd do him.
I don't know.
MJF's not going to wrestle.
Naito's never appeared for AEW, right?
I don't believe so, sadly. But I'd have him. Put him against either like Danielson, maybe even Punk.
It would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Naito's suffered a lot of injuries lately. I feel like Naito might be... I don't know. I haven't kept up with New Japan in the past couple of months. I'm a little lost. But I feel like Naito might have been hurt. I'm not sure, though.
That's too bad. Problem last year, we only got Okada like the week before Forbidden Door. Like, oh, he showed up, he's going to be in a match. Like, we only found out the week before that, so.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if you get him, we're known a little bit more in advance this time around.
Naito and Danielson would be amazing. I feel like we're not going there at all. You know, that Tanahashi CM Punk match was supposed to happen last year. It'd be pretty sweet to do it this year.
Yeah.
That could main event easily.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. And probably Joe against Zack Sabre Jr. Battle of the Television Champions.
Or Orange Cassidy, no?
Or Orange Cassidy. I think Joe is a better match, but
Yeah.
because they've teased that already in Ring of Honor. They've had a confrontation.
Yeah, but you can do it in Ring of Honor because it seems like Zack Sabre Jr. wrestles in Ring of Honor way more. And this is AEW versus New Japan. It's not Ring of Honor versus New Japan.
It's true, but Samoa Joe is advertised for Collision, so.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? He's more Ring of Honor these days than AEW.
Right now.
I think you got to stick with the gimmick of the pay-per-view. AEW versus New Japan. Wardlow cut a promo. He wants to wrestle Luchasaurus. He took out Christian, and now he wants Luchasaurus. So, okay. Can't imagine that'll be great, but, you know. And the Outcasts cut a backstage promo. Ruby Soho, Tony Storm, and Saraya. Tony Storm talked about winning the AEW Women's title and defending it this weekend at the AEW House Show. And the newly crowned 2 new women's champions right this weekend. Tony Storm, new AEW Women's Champion, and Chris Statlander, new AEW TBS Champion. Asuka, new Raw Women's Champion. Everybody's crowning new champions. Right? Last weekend, we saw 3 new women's champions in the 2 major promotions in pro wrestling. As the Dodgers, Mookie Betts just hit another home run. It's 8-2 8-2 Dodgers. Disaster.
Wow, the Dodgers are on the way to make that 21 happening. It sounds like Yankees got to do their end of the bargain here.
8-2. We're a long way away in the 6th inning, but this game seems out of reach. 8-2. Yikes. Statlander defended her TBS title, beating Nyla Rose this week.
Well, you know, Statlander's all right. Like, I have no problem with Statlander, but there seems to be a lot of praise and hype over her, and I don't see that. Why people push her like she's like the greatest thing almost ever. Yeah. Like, she's good. She's fine, but like, that's about it. Like, she's all right, but nothing really that stood out was like, oh yeah, she should be champion. She's like amazing. Like, she was just good. Like, to me, nothing in terms of charisma that really stood out. I find she just goes from one move to the next, and it's fine. Her execution's good, but she doesn't really stand out as a character, I find, just besides her look. She did a very good 450, but the 450 also was like, oh, trip Nyla and then just go right up to the top. And it's like, wow, one trip and you stay down for a 450? That finish came out of absolute nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
But it was all right. I don't get it with beating Jade's record like that. I think that was a major mistake by AEW. You could have made a lot more out of that if you had it happen at All In.
Yeah.
But they
and
didn't do that.
If you missed it, we discussed and dissected the entire AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view this past Monday morning. So you could watch that right now on the Ringside Report Network. That video's up on our channel. We talked about the Statlander, Jade Cargill match and everything that happened there. We talked about it at length, and I was not happy with it either. I thought it was a total disaster. And I agree with you, John. I think Statlander, there's not much there. She's all right, but she was a space alien at one point, and now she's like, whatever. She's nothing. She's like happy to be there. She's happy to be champion. She was hurt, and now she's back, and she's really happy that she's back. And AEW really likes her. And it's like, okay, she's popular backstage. She's got a lot of friends in the AEW locker room. She's popular backstage, and that's why she's in the spot that she's in right now. She is not there because she sells tickets or moves ratings or does anything of the sort. She is there because she is popular backstage. She's friends with the right people. And that's my assessment of the Chris Statlander situation. She's good. She's passable enough where you go, she's not getting a push because she's well-connected. She's getting a push because she deserves it. But, but again, like AEW does not have the deepest, strongest division, and you got to make somebody. So Statlander, I guess, but she's been hurt quite a bit. It seems a little risky to give it to her when she might get hurt again, and Jade is right there, already a star, and oh well. But, this match didn't do too much for me, and I feel like Statlander needs to work on that promo and the character, because there's not much there to get behind or be. Like, I'm not entertained, really. It's like, okay, her matches are okay, her promos are not great, and I'm not entertained by anything she's doing. So why? Like, it's got to be better than this.
I agree with you, and I don't know if you agree with this, but I'm really not a big fan of the crying.
No,
like,
yeah.
This really did not need crying.
I won a belt. I'm so happy. Fuck off.
I mean, you beat Jay when she just had a match. Like, come on. Like, it looks
you didn't do
bad
shit.
when you do
You didn't
that.
do shit, Chris Statlander.
It looks bad. Like, I was disappointed with that. Like, I get why they do that story, but I feel like they didn't really think that one through. To me, it kind of makes her look bad doing that.
Yeah. She didn't really address it either. To me, if you're a babyface and you win that way over Jade after Jade just had a match, you come out and you say, Jade, I beat you, but I know you just had a match, and I want to fight you again. It may not be tonight, but one day soon we'll meet in the ring, and I want you at your best. I want you 100%, and I want to beat you when you're 100%. That's what a babyface would say. None of that happened. She didn't mention Jade Cargill once. She's like, I was hurt, and everybody said I should stay home, but I went to the shows, and now you love me, and you gave me the belt. Shut the fuck up, Chris Statlander. Nobody wants to hear that shit. You come out and you say, Jade, I beat you, I'm back, and I'm going to beat you again. You think it was a fluke? It wasn't a fluke. Next time I see you one-on-one, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to defend the title. I'm going to defend the title more than you. You were 60-0. I'm going to defend the title 75 times, 100 times, way more than you ever defended the title, and I'm going to beat you when you're 100%. Anytime, anywhere, Jade Cargill, you were a great champion. A lot of respect for you. You're a great mom. You're a great athlete, but anytime you want a title shot, anytime you want that rematch, you call Tony Khan, we'll set it up, and I'll beat you again. That's what you're supposed to say, Chris Statlander. But you didn't say any of that shit because you're a garbage baby face. Doesn't know how to cut a proper promo. Shit. Right? I mean, come on. All that shit I said, that's what you're supposed to say, man. It's not hard.
Right. But I also felt for Toni Storm, too. Like, she just wins the women's title. They gave her a promo, and that was fine. But then she gets beat down, like, right afterwards. I'm like, that's a bad start for your women's champion right there.
Did she get beat down?
Because she interfered in the main event.
Oh, yeah. She got run off, right?
And that's the first time you see her as the women's champion. Just,
who
second
ran her off?
fiddle. I think it was Britt, if not mistaken.
Well, Britt was in the
No,
match.
it was Sheeta.
Right.
With the kendo stick.
Yeah.
Adam Cole and champion.
Adam Cole and Britt Baker. Yeah, well, whatever. She's a heel. I don't know. It didn't make a huge deal to me. Adam Cole and Britt Baker beat Saraya and Chris Jericho in the main event of Dynamite. Cole hit the knee on Jericho to pin him. It was a fine main event. Big stars in there. Interesting to see Adam Cole and Britt Baker together as a tag team. Never seen that before in AEW. It was, okay. Wasn't my favorite match on the card. Wasn't the best main event ever, but it wasn't bad. Saraya and Chris Jericho as a tag team. It was unique teams. The match was different. It was, okay. Wasn't perfect, but, it was fine.
Well, there was the good, the bad, the ugly in this one.
Yeah.
There was some good. I thought Jericho and Cole, like they started off fantastically. Great intensity, some good chops, good strikes back and forth. I'm like, this is good. And then Britt and Saraya came in. I'm like, uh-oh, this is going downhill very quickly. Britt's forearms are the worst. Or it's like Dominic Mysterio level bad. Those
What about
forearms.
Bianca's?
Yeah, I guess the same.
Bianca's are
just
pretty bad.
like really ruining wrestling with those kind of forearms. Like just completely making it look like it's completely phony. So bad. And I don't know, like you couldn't see Soraya's because of the camera view, but you saw Britt's and it's like just taps on the shoulder. Like not once, but twice that happened. It looked bad. And Britt, she just seemed like, deer in the headlights. Just one move to the next, like just going through the motions. That's it. And just trying to remember stuff, forgetting stuff, stop, start with moves. It wasn't great. Like the women brought it down. Like it wasn't so much Saraya. I feel like Saraya was trying, but Britt, for whatever, I don't know if she gets like nervous or something, or like just was tough to be in that spot, but it just felt like she wasn't on everyone else's level. And Saraya had to bring herself down to Britt's level. And that was bad because that's mixed tag. You're stuck in a sense, right? Because you have to have the women in against each other. And that's another thing too. Like Jericho kind of attacked her, like pulled her leg. So
Yeah.
like kind of went against it a little bit. But Britt got more than enough shots on Jericho, and that seemed more than fine right in front of the referee. So
AEW.
selective, ruling, I guess.
Yeah. Different rules in AEW,
Yeah.
John, I got a new AEW thing that I think you're going to
Oh, you
like.
got the game?
No,
You got
the
the
game's
game
not
already?
out yet. The game's not out yet.
Okay.
I got a new AEW toy, but it's your favorite AEW wrestler.
I
Can
guess
you guess?
it's when it be Ty.
It's a tie.
I got it correct. I got it correct. We talked
Johnny.
about pregnancies. Congrats to Ty and Sammy too. I think we
Johnny's
already said
favorite.
congratulations to them.
Yeah. I saw
Is it
everybody
it's,
in this series but Sting at the Walmart today.
Aw.
They didn't have this. I have the Sting, though. I have the Sting.
Oh,
I got
okay.
the Sting a long
Well, that's
time
good.
ago. This is kind of an old series. For some reason, the Sting was available like a lot earlier than this. I got the Sting on Amazon like months and months ago. But this one, I didn't get Wardlow. I don't have a Wardlow, but I was like, man, my son doesn't give a shit about Wardlow. I'm not getting Wardlow. And I have like several MJFs already, and I have a Santana and Ortiz. I don't need that. But I didn't have a Ty Conti or a Ty Mello, as she's now known. So I got the Ty. 2 Ty heads. Because, you need more
2
head with
heads.
Ty. What?
Well, you gotta get the Mellow now. Whenever they make that one now.
Oh, we got to get the Ty Mello when that one comes out. Do you think they'll make a Ty Mello action figure at some point? They'll make another Ty
surprised.
action figure AEW? Is that necessary? I mean, she's pregnant now.
Well-
She's going to be gone for months. They should make a Ty Mello action figure pregnant. Her and Sammy Guevara 2-pack from Double or Nothing, That'd be good.
I was thinking one with Sammy. Doesn't have to be pregnant, but just them together. That'd be a good one, I think.
I never seen a pregnant action figure before. I think that'd be good. Why not? Why are there no pregnant action figures? You're saying pregnant women can't do action? Well, not too much action because it could be dangerous, but there's some
It could
action.
be very dangerous.
Could be dangerous. Not wrestling action, but you can move around a bit. You can move around. You're supposed to move around. All right. John, I want to move around. I want to get out of here. When's your next match? When can people see you?
Well, it's going to be this Sunday, actually, in Laval, 1000 Boulevard d'Avenir. Bell time 4 p.m. Got a big strap match, wrestling Savage Paulson. It's going to be very violent in Laval.
That sounds like fun.
It should be.
Maybe I'll be there. I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll see how tomorrow goes.
Let me know.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's coming up Sunday night in Laval. Go check out Johnny North. I mean, if you haven't seen Johnny North wrestle, you're definitely missing out. And him and Savage Paulson in that strap match is going to be crazy. So go check that out. You can check me out on all the things. You can subscribe to this channel. You can do all the things. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Rumble. I'll be back Thursday night, 8 p.m. for Ringside Report MMA. We'll preview UFC 289. Next weekend, we'll got a UFC pay-per-view watch-along. UFC 289 is next Saturday, so we'll be previewing that coming up next Thursday here on the Ringside Report Network, and that should be the next time you see me doing things. I want to give a shout-out to Doug Hepburn, Jason Pete, Doug Hepburn, you're the Super Chat leader of the night. Harold Schneider, thank you for gifting the memberships. Shout out to our new members, Jay, Min, Thomas, Franco, Silent. Appreciate all the new members and everybody tuning in here tonight. Go to join.ringsidereport.net if you have not already. Join.ringsidereport.net. Harold Schneider dropping a gift of 5 memberships. People picking them up right away here. Nice to see the new members. Join in the channel over at join.ringsidereport.net on YouTube or donate.ringsidereport.net as well if you want to become a member on the other platforms. And that's it. The Yankees are losing 8-2 in the 7th, so that totally sucks. I'm going to watch the end of the game and cry myself to sleep.
I can end this on a somewhat positive note. I finally started Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
And, I admit with you that it's quite a good game so far. I'm only a couple hours in, but quite enjoyable. Definitely a worthy Zelda title, without question.
Look at that.
I got a couple of shrines done.
You know what that is? It's a keychain. It's not
Well,
that. Not that impressive.
Oh.
My Nintendo
Well, that looks
Rewards
cool.
exclusive, though. You got to cash in your platinum points for this, baby.
That looks cool.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, just starting. Got 2 stamina rings, 5 hearts. Just going. Just
2
starting.
full stamina rings?
Yeah.
And 5 hearts. Oh, so you went full stamina and you kind of slowed down on the hearts getting your shrines.
Well, because climbing, right? Because climbing requires a lot of stamina, so.
Oh, there's a place to get climbing gear pretty early on. You have climbing gear?
Well, I have very basic gear, so.
It's like in a
Stamina
cave.
was the way to go.
There's climbing gear.
I don't go to
in
caves too much. I'm too
in
weak to go to caves.
in
right
an
now.
early cave, though. Early, like close to the beginning of the game, there was climbing gear that I got from a chest.
Okay.
I think it was from a chest. I don't know. I've got a lot of clothing because of the amiibo. Because you can scan amiibo and get all sorts of stuff. And it's random, so every day you got to scan the amiibo. And I've got 20-something Zelda amiibo. So if I scan them every day, like if I do a full scan of all my Zelda amiibo, I'll get 1 or 2 pieces of clothing in
I see.
in a
Okay.
run. A lot of times I'll get weapons, but you'll get higher level weapons. Like when you start, all your weapons are garbage, and you have they're worth 5 points or whatever, right? Like you see the number on the weapon, it's like a 5 weapon, but I've got 25 weapons. I've got 30 rank weapons. I've got Goron swords and all sorts of stuff because I use the amiibo, and then you get weapons that are weapons or melee weapons or whatever, but bows
Right.
too, super strong bows and super strong shields. So I have jacked up armor and weapons and also some cool clothes. But there are some tricks to get stronger clothes to kind of be stronger with your attacks. There's a lot of stuff I've done. There's so many different things to do in the game. We're really getting into the nerdy Zelda Tears of the Kingdom talk, but that's what the show's going to turn into, I think, John, as we continue to play.
Problem.
It's fun, right? You got all your runes?
Weapon-
What runes do you have?
You're talking about the tiers you're talking about, or
No, the isn't it called runes? The abilities, you have Ultra
Oh, okay.
Hand, you have Ascend,
fuse? Yeah.
Fuse, Ascend, Ultra Hand, and
I think
Rewind.
Map.
But Rewind,
yeah.
Map, Amiibo. Do you have Camera?
No camera yet.
Oh,
Actually,
you
no.
got to go see Pura. Pura and Robbie will send you on a
Yeah,
mission to get the camera
yeah,
early on.
I know about that, but I'm gonna do the tiers right now because I want to get all the memories.
You're doing tiers. So you're going to like the
Yeah,
4 points on the map, like that they tell you to go to? Isn't that it?
like now I'm going to where all the symbols are. You have to find like on the ground. There's all these like white like shapes.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got a tier, yeah. So I'm going across all the land with
The f-
Epona, just collecting all the tiers.
Really? Where are the
Yeah,
tiers?
they're all throughout Hyrule. If you saw the map in the Forgotten Temple, that's where all the tiers are. It shows you on the map. You take a picture of the map, which I did, and I'm just exploring Hyrule with that.
There's a map in the Forgotten Temple?
Yeah,
What's the Forgotten Temple?
Impa's in there. Like
Impa.
you just have to follow Impa. That's it.
I lose track on what the things are called and where everything is. That's why I need my son. My son, he knows what everything is and who everything is. And he tells me, I'm like, where's the Forgotten Temple? He's like, oh, it's over there. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, he knows this stuff. I got to beat the bad guys, and I got to figure out the shrine puzzles, because sometimes they're a little too complicated for him. He's 6 years old. Well, he's almost 6 years old, Some of the
Well,
shrines,
to be fair,
some of the shrines
some
are
of the
a little
shrines are hard,
tricky, right?
yeah, I
Some
agree.
of them are a little tricky. But isn't it so satisfying when you're like, yes, I figured it out, So nice.
Well, sometimes I'm like, I'm so stupid. This is so easy. How
Yeah.
can I not figure this out sooner?
Yeah, right? Sometimes you're like, what the
Yeah.
hell? Oh, of course it was this. What am I, an idiot?
Yeah.
How come I didn't use Ascend to go here? It's like, what? Ugh. I killed a bunch of... I was so stupid. I think I was playing a couple nights ago. I killed a bunch of, like, black bokoblins and a giant black bokoblin boss, so I had a lot of stuff to get, like, one of those little encampments. Like, I killed a bunch of bad guys. And then I wanted to, like, go... They have, like, a pole with a platform where they have, like, a bunch of fruit that I wanted to get because they're all dead.
Okay.
I wanted to collect their bounty, right? But it was raining, so I couldn't climb.
Oh, you gotta get the rubber armor.
Wait. So I was...
Oh, sorry.
So, wait. There's an end to this story of how stupid I am, and only Tears of the Kingdom players will get this at this point. So I'm like, wait, it's raining, so I'm waiting around the encampment for the rain to stop so that I could climb up. So I'm like, I'll wait till the rain stops, and I'll be able to climb. It won't take long. And then I'm waiting, and the rain is, like, still going, and I'm like, wait a second. I could just ascend. So then I ascended through the platform, and I got there easily. It's like, I was like, why climb when I can ascend? Sometimes I think of climbing, but I don't think of the ascend. It doesn't always click. And then I'm like, wow, I was really stupid for waiting there for, like, that minute that I waited. Felt dumb. Happens.
I wish you could do that, but mountains, not so much. I mean, maybe some, but not too many.
Caves.
Sadly.
You go into caves, and then you can ascend up through the mountain. If you find the cave.
not
There's
every mountain-
tons
not
of
every
caves,
mountain
man.
has-
There's so many
Not every
caves.
mountain has a cave.
There are caves. And there are caves that are blocked by those big blocks that fall out of the sky. You got to rewind some of them. Every one of them you see, you got to rewind, because sometimes it unlocks like a hole in the mountain and there's a cave hidden. I'm telling you.
Uh-huh.
I got to find that Hestu to cash in my Korok seeds. I haven't found any of that, and I want more weapon slots.
Yeah, I got like 15 seeds or something, yeah.
Man, when did you get the game?
Last Saturday
You're
night.
so much better than me at this game. You're so far, but you probably have more time to play because you don't have two children jumping on you all the time. Like, I can only play for a
Probably.
couple hours once every 2 to 3 days. Like, I can't play every day. I wish I could play for 4 hours
playing
every day.
too.
I would love it. No, you're busy. You're I was gonna say you're jacking up. You're getting jacked. You're working out. You're jacking off. You got shit to do.
I mean, everyone does it. But yeah.
Take it easy. All right. All right. Well, we could talk about Tears of the Kingdom forever, but I feel like our wrestling audience is like, guys, what are you talking about? Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, it's okay. It's the end of the show.
If you played the game, you would understand. And if you don't play the game, maybe you should get a Nintendo Switch and play Tears of the Kingdom. If you have a Nintendo Switch and you don't have Tears of the Kingdom, I think you're fucking up. Like, you're missing something. If you have a Switch and you're not playing this game, come on. It's fantastic. And I'm not even like a big Zelda guy, but it's so cool. It's so vast. I like when I can gimmick a shrine. When, like, I know what I'm doing is not what I'm supposed to do, but I do it anyways. Like, I was in a shrine the other day.
A lot.
Yeah, right? Like, I was in a shrine the other day where there was one of those balls that has to go in the circle to open a door, right? And there was, like, a thing that, like, would, if you hit a thing, the wall would, like, move and shoot the ball, right? So you had to
I think
build...
I did that one today.
Okay, so you had to build, like, a contraption to kind of launch it, right? And they give you platforms, and they're like, you know, you're supposed to build something to launch it. But I didn't do that. I didn't do any of that because they're floating platforms, right? They kind of float in the air. They have Zonai power, I guess, right?
Right.
So I just took all the platforms with me from all the other areas before. So I had like 7 of them. So I glued them all together. I attached them all. I angled them up. I placed them a little bit further away from the edge. I picked up the ball. I ran up the platform. I threw the ball, and it landed on the other side. And then I just glided down, and then I went da-da-da-da-da-da, and I finished the shrine. But I know, like, I was supposed to use the to shoot the ball, but I didn't do any of that. I was like, I can't figure out how to do this. I'm pretty sure if I just stick these together, I can climb up and just throw it across. And I did that. But it's like, I know that's not what the game necessarily intended for me to do. That's not the solve of this puzzle. But you could solve it however the fuck you want, you know? As long as you get that ball across, you're good to go. It's so cool.
I thought you were talking about the one with the hot air balloon where you had to put the ball in the balloon and shoot it up to get it across. I thought you were talking about that one, but I think you're talking about another one.
Yeah, there's so many shrines, man. The chances of us being in the same shrine, like, is hard. Like, I've been to a bunch though. I have like
me too,
like 8 hearts maybe, and almost 2 full stamina wheels.
Okay.
Yeah.
You went in a different direction than me.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to up my hearts too because I was sick of getting killed by the bad guys. I'm not so good at fighting, so I need hearts to survive. You know.
Well, I got some yellow hearts, so it helps.
What's that? Oh, like you make them with elixirs and they kind of give you bonus hearts?
Well, not even like if you sleep in the beds at the stables. If you take like a special bed, you get yellow hearts and yellow stamina.
Oh yeah, the soft bed.
Yeah, the soft bed, the water bed, stuff like that.
You get more stamina or more hearts, like when you wake up. Oh, I didn't even know that. I've never taken a sleep in a bed because I'm like, I don't want to sleep. I want to keep playing. Stop messing with me. I never do that. I've never spent rupees on that.
Tickets, so.
You get tickets? What's that? Oh, you have a free ticket. Yeah. I think I have tickets. I've never done it. I should do it. See, there's so much stuff I haven't done. The game is so gigantic. There's tons I haven't done.
It is. It's a lot.
Isn't it cool when you get on a wing and you power it and you have, like, finally the...
It's nice when I had that. When I didn't have that, I was like, what the heck am I doing here? I'm gliding. I have no control.
You have control.
Kind of.
Based on how you stand on it, right? You know that?
Yeah, how you stand on it, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of helps.
I just went crash right into the Temple of Time with it.
Yeah. But it's kind of fun. So fun.
It was all right for the start, yeah.
I found the guy in Hatino Village to change my glider. And with the amiibo, there's specific glider fabric to every amiibo that you can only get through the amiibo in the game. Glider fabric. Yeah. So I have different fabric for my gliders, like many different designs. So I found the guy to change that for 20 rupees, which was pretty big.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You have any Zelda amiibo?
I have Twilight Princess. That's how I got Pona. And I have the 8-bit Link. So I have some good weapons off that.
Yeah. Yeah, those amiibo are huge. But the is it Twilight Princess? What's Twilight Princess? He's just like a normal Link. There's one with like a cartoon head.
That's probably Toon Link, I'm gonna guess.
Link's Awakening, I think.
Link's Awakening. There's also Wind Waker Link.
So the Link's Awakening amiibo, that one, like if you get lucky and scan it on the right day or whatever, there's like a Link Awakening head you could put on to make him look like cartoonish, like really weird.
Okay,
Like,
it's not really necessary, but okay.
Yeah, but it would make Link look so cool in the game. Like Link would look. I can't believe I'm going to use.
He
this
looked
for
like
this.
Link's Awakening Link.
You can make him look like this in the game.
Yeah, that's not really necessary.
I need that.
It's okay, but I don't need that.
I need it. Anyways, I have every Zelda amiibo ever released, as you may or may not know. I have all the amiibo ever released in North America, including every Zelda amiibo, every Link, everything. I've got Ganon.
Supplies.
I've got the champions.
Good then for you.
Supplies are huge. I've got so much stuff. I got meat, tons of meat. It's crazy. Like, I've got so much stuff because of the amiibo. I don't know if I'd be able to have as much success in the game if I didn't have the stuff, because, like, the weapons that you get alone, gigantic, you know?
I could imagine. I got some weapons, but I can imagine you have a lot.
Yeah, man. I got some sick weapons. Big Goron sword, all sorts of cool shit. You should, like, I've got shields that are like 65, you know, like high rank shields, really good shields.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think mine's like 30 something, but I do a lot of fusion stuff.
Oh, yeah. There's so many different things you can fuse.
Yeah.
So much fusion.
Kind of crazy.
So many combinations. It's nuts. Have you fused a minecart to your shield so you can use it like a skateboard yet?
I did the blocks, like the huge blocks, like the huge ice blocks.
Yeah.
So then I could shoot ice with my sword.
So oh, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
There's so much you could do. It's crazy.
It's such a great game, man. I love it. Tears of the Kingdom. Killer. You can see, like, we're talking about it because there's so much, like, going on in the game. Like, it's like, have you seen this? Have you done that? Like, oh, try this, you know? It's amazing. Amazing.
For me, right now, it's the tears because, like, that story, like, because every time you get a tear, you get a new memory, and it's like, but you only get a part, and it's like, it's a random part.
Yeah.
It's like, where does this fit in the story? It doesn't connect, but that's why you have to get them all.
See, I don't care at all about the story. I don't care.
Oh,
I'm not interested in that.
It's a good story.
I want
like,
the map.
Second the game started.
I want all of Hyrule unlocked. I want to see the whole map. So I'm getting all the towers.
Okay.
No, but I want the detailed map. Like, I'm trying to get all the towers. And I have, like, most of them done. I think there's 14 towers. I have a lot of them done. I just did one on some mountain that was really cold. I don't know. Mount Lanayru, I think.
It's probably near the Rito village, more than likely. Near the birds.
It was Mount Lanayru, I think it was. I think that was what it was called. It was near Hatino village, I think.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's in that area-ish.
Yeah. And the depths, man. The depths. So scary.
Well, I'm not strong enough to go to the depths yet, but I've seen them.
Oh, there's basic depths you can do. Have you hit any of the light things?
No, I haven't hit any of the light things yet.
No light bloom? Oh, man, you got to hit a couple light blooms. It's not so bad. There's some stuff in the depths you can do. Like, you can hit the first light bloom pretty easily. And I think there's that's how you get the camera. You got to go into the depths to get the camera. It's a mission.
Well, I'm going to have to, I'm going to have to go in depths. But right now it's just focus on the tiers and slowly build myself up. Because, again, 5 hearts, there's only so much you could do with that.
Yeah. I want to get auto build. I have to figure out how to get that. That's like another ability. I just don't have it yet. Yeah.
That sounds good.
I don't think it's that hard to get. I think it's just you have to know where to go and how to do it. I don't think you have to be that strong or whatever to get it. I think you have to finish one of the, like, you have to go see one of the champions, you know, and then do their story.
Thing too. Like, it's hard to go to, like, a lot of places because a lot of places have, like, problems going on, right? The Zoras have, like, this kind of, like, scum thing around their village, so it's hard to get into there.
It's easy to get through that. You just shoot water at it.
Okay. Well, I just saw it. I'm like, this is a pain in the butt. Get out of here.
But it slows you down, but it doesn't hurt you. It takes no hearts away from you, and to
Yeah.
get rid of it, you just shoot water like splash fruit.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, there's a like a statue, and they're like, "Oh, how do we get this garbage off of it?" And it's like, easy, psh, gone. And they're like, "How'd you do that?" And it's like, you just spray water on it. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah, there you go.
But
I've got
the
tips
bridge-
for you, John. I like when I know something about Zelda that you don't, because it's very rare, because you're far more advanced Zelda player than I am.
Well, there's so
Oh,
much
that's
going
cool.
on. But
That's what I'm saying.
for the
There's so
bridge-
much going on that there may be things that I know that you don't, because we've just been to different areas because it's so vast. That's what's cool
Well,
about
that's
this
it.
game. It's nuts. It's gigantic.
But like when the game started, like for me, that's what hooked me to the story. Because once they talked about the imprisoning war, like that was huge. I don't.
Yeah.
You probably don't know what that is about, but that
No.
for me was like a major reveal right to start. So
See, you read the Zelda mangas. You're in tune with the Zelda story. I'm really not. Like, I don't know that stuff.
right,
We rode the dragon
but it's
today.
big.
You know the big dragon? The big.
I've seen dragons.
There's like a big blue dragon in the sky.
Oh, there's more than one dragon.
Okay. Well,
Seen a
if you
couple of
drop out of the
dragons.
sky, you can land on the dragon, and you're like, okay.
That's cool. The last
And there's
game
stuff
was
you
not
can
like
get
that.
off the dragon, some sort of ice crystal thing. It's only on
Oh,
the
wow.
dragon. Yeah. I did that today. I was like, whoa, what is this? It's crazy.
Breath of the Wild, you can do that. If you try going the dragon, you just get bounced off.
You land on the dragon, and
That's
it's like
cool.
a platform carrying you through the sky. It's insane. Did not know that until today. My son discovered it.
I'm sure
actually.
there's a lot.
He was like gliding in the sky. I was like, oh man, the dragon. I was like, try to land on it. And he landed on it, and it was like, yep, this is just a surface. It's crazy. He started picking stuff up. I was like, what? It was cool. What a game. All
Pretty
right.
cool.
All right. We're going to go on and on. Let's go play Tears of the Kingdom.
We have gone on. No, I think
Yeah,
we should go to bed, then maybe wake up and do that.
Okay. Well, you choose your side. I'm going to choose mine. Yankees down 8-2, top of the ninth. They're about to lose to the Dodgers in L.A. Whatever. Always tomorrow night, boys. You can't win them all. What are you going to do? All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for everybody who stayed with us during the Tears of the Kingdom talk, because I noticed our audience did not drop off. It actually increased during the Tears of the Kingdom talk, which makes me think you guys just want to hear me talk about Zelda, which is cool with me, because
That's interesting.
I see the YouTube videos that my son watches, and a lot of them are about Zelda and video games, and the numbers are pretty big on those. You know, like millions of views. It's like the video came out 2 hours ago. It's got 6 million views. I'm like, how is that possible? How is it possible? It's because they're talking about Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, and other things. Video games, though. Video game stuff, content works on YouTube, so maybe we hit the algorithm. Maybe we'll just do Tears of the Kingdom talk from now on. I do kind of enjoy playing Tears of the Kingdom more than watching Raw, right? Wouldn't it be more fun for our time? Like, if we could do this show and only talk about Tears of the Kingdom, and then we wouldn't have to watch Raw, and we could just play Tears of the Kingdom instead during that time, wouldn't that be good? That'd be kind of nice. Wait a second.
Well, we do it for the people. That's it, though. We do Raw for the people. We do
I
Tears
did
for
it.
ourselves and a little bit for the people.
I do it for The Rock. And I do it for the
Do
people.
it for The Rock as well.
Do it for the people. I did it for The Rock. Okay. Thanks, everybody. We love you. We'll talk to you again soon, right here on the Ringside Report Network.
Please join in and give your support to Ringside Report Network. We've been providing expert coverage and commentary on both pro wrestling and MMA for over 15 years. Go to ringsidereport.net/support to find out more ways to support the channel.